Shooting the shelf.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Shooting the Shelf, right here on the Just Shelve It channel. I am Jesse Arnold, and with me is my stalwart companion, friend, fellow customizer, and it's really weird because I've got the show up on the other screen, and it's like a delay, and seeing my face more than once is really off-putting. But Curtis is over here on this side.
You got it.
I got to scroll up so I don't see my face over there. All right. Let's see. Curtis, how are you doing tonight?
I am doing most excellent. It's been a very busy weekend. I have I've not gotten much sleep. I haven't been able to really do much with the family, or I just did a small amount of customizing today in the studio. But yeah, I mean, just, Friday night, obviously we had OffWorld, and then yesterday was really busy with the Euro Legions, and then Saturday Day Live, and then Purple Gang Gang, and that was a long show. Studio today, and then getting ready for tonight's show, and plus we got a new segment that's going to be coming out soon that we were kind of putting some work into. So yeah, it was a busy weekend, but I am ready for this conversation tonight because it is going to be a ton of fun.
Yes, it is. I know you're particularly excited about this week's. I mean, I am too, but I know this is
oh yeah, this is an
itch you've been wanting to scratch for a couple months now. So
well, let me call out the folks in the chat here, because we got quite a few people here to check this out. We've got Dave Orkin out there. We've got Jordan, Wholesome Warlock, Rob Zamora, David Williams, he's here for the Battle Beast talk. Van Johnson, Joe Martinez is out there, Purple Gang Gang, Patrick Boyle, the first 58, Jose Sanchez, V-Dog, which I want to pull this up, says it's Charles from the Cabal. There will be no hats tonight. Sorry to disappoint. Well, Jesse has one, but not for me, because I got rid of the hat. If you want to see me with a cool hat, check out Purple Gang Gang from last night. I had a really cool hat on, but not tonight. We got Latin Legions, Steve O'Bag, Paul Zach, Jeff, which, speaking of Jeff Evans, Cosmic Connections, new show. They had the first episode drop Friday. They're going to be having that each Friday out there. So check that out. There's not a lot of cosmic content. There's a whole lot of mythic content. So yeah, if you're interested in Cosmic Legions, check that out. Should be fun. Spoiler, and I don't know if we're supposed to tell this, but Jesse and I are going to be on the show. Just FYI.
What?
Yeah, exactly. We've got I am TJ Williams. The H is silent. It is not Thom. It is Tom. He has told us. Ben McCall, Jacob Forna, Legends Collector 1321. We got G out there. I can't roll my R's, but Echevarria. Lynn says,
whoa, hold on. I know you've had a long weekend, but you got to put some stank on that. You really slacking.
Echevarria.
There we go.
Yeah, just disappointed in myself. I had like an intervention last night with PGG about not being able to roll my R's. And Carlos from Badass Reviews was on, and I was gonna have him, kind of give me some lessons, but I don't know. Maybe G can record some sort of tutorial for rolling R's.
I don't think that's how interventions work. They don't usually get you to try to do something you can't do.
It's trying to get me to stop not doing something that I. Anyway, we've got Len out there. He says PGG sent him. So that's interesting twist. Okay. We've got Joe Gonzalez, Dork Layers out there. Hey, Bill. No hard feelings yesterday. I still love you. Even though we had a little bit of a spat on Saturday Day Live, but we're good. JG, we've got Alberto Morales, Mark White, Santos Rivera, Ice, which is my son Ty. Hey Ty. And Tanya McCoy. So there you go. That is the chat. We are popping tonight.
And Mark Rivera. I don't know if you said Mark.
I think I did. Maybe not. Okay. I don't know. We got the Riveras, and you know what? Amazing family, wonderful people. Love hanging out with them. Can't wait to see them again at LegionsCon this year. So, we are good. Bill. We are so good. In fact, we need to get Bill on the show.
Yes.
That is that.
Our Legion's Lounge trifecta.
That's for sure. But I think we got a guest tonight, right?
I did hear this.
What's that now?
I can confirm that you did speak highly of Bill during the studio today.
I mean, I did. That is factual, but I've also got a reputation to uphold. So you guys don't need to, act like or tell people that I'm a good guy. Like
I'm crushing that reputation.
Yeah.
But while we're crushing reputations, let's bring on our guest tonight, Curtis. Why don't you give the introduction as all of you bring the warm digital welcome to our guest tonight?
Yeah. So this individual just like came on the scene and started putting out these customs that, first of all, amazing. Like, and this is nothing against your average pop and swapper or even, somebody that's painting rivets or detail, whatever. Like, that stuff is all great. But when you start having people that are like, using, like epoxy, they're like sculpting things, they're cutting things apart, they're adding stuff together, they're like really modifying parts in order to create customs. It's pretty awesome. But then when you do it as a tribute towards a toy line that I love, Battle Beast, like even better. And this guy came out of just nowhere and just all of a sudden just boom, 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 boom. Every single week he's like putting one out, it seems like. So I'm excited to welcome Chris Brennan, aka War Weasel 83, onto the show. Chris, how you doing, sir?
Great. I'm doing great. Thank you guys for having me. I'm excited to be here. I'm dealing with bronchitis, but I will say this is the best my voice has been in 2 days. So I'm grateful for that too.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully we don't make it worse by the end of the show.
That's all right. I was saving it for tonight anyways. That's all right.
Well, I tell you what, Chris sent us a lot of pictures for tonight, including a lot of in-progress shots of the customs that he's done, which I think is really cool because not only will you be able to see the awesome finished customs that he's done, but really some of the ingenuity that it took to put some of these things together. So this should be a lot of fun. So even if he can't talk, we got a ton to see. So
I'm in heaven right now. This is where I paint, but I got to just lay it all out. I took floral pictures off the wall. I put up Battle Beasts everywhere. So, I'm in heaven too.
Before we get into shelf selections, let's kind of embiggen you here and kind of show folks what we've got behind you. Let me do it this way, that way we're still on the screen. Tell us what we got behind you here.
So this is my full collection, all weapons, all rubs. It's my best example of each, but thanks to my son, he kind of encouraged me. We're doing wood, water, and fire for each beast. So that is not all of my battle beasts.
Gotcha.
I mean, this is full.
Nice.
But yeah, and then I got all my customs, obviously, in case we want to take a closer look at any of them. I'll show you how the elephant's hammer works. And that's why I sent you the progress pics, because I watched the show. And a lot of weeks I was on, I heard you guys, well, how did he do this? Or what is this? And
right.
The deer legs, I was just so happy with those. The hammer. So I was excited to show you those and share. So we'll share them with everybody tonight for sure.
Awesome. Yeah, we'll take a look at
chariots. The chariots are here. There they are. Okay.
Nice. And you got the poster in the background that's got all of them from the original wave.
I wanted that poster for years, and I finally found it at a good price. And I noticed, I didn't care, but I noticed after getting it, there's like a little ballpoint pen. Some kid checked off like which ones he had.
Nice.
I thought it was awesome.
Yeah, that's cool. We used to do that kind of stuff. That was the benefit of having something like that. So we'll get into a lot of Battle Beast talk here in a second. But before we do that, we've got a little thing we call shelf selections. Where Jesse and I pulled up some photos that inspired us this week. It could be, dios, it could be custom figures, it could be photography, it could really be anything, but it's art that inspires, to steal a coined phrase from Purple Gang Gang. So we're going to show those photos and talk about them. And Chris, if you have any comments on these, feel free.
Of course.
And then after shelf selections, we'll get into talking about your amazing customs. So
sounds good.
Here we go. And the first one is mine. And this one I actually picked out for Jesse. I love it, but I really don't have any reference to Zelda at all. I played literally one Zelda game my whole life, which was those little handheld ones that you got from like Walmart back in the day. Can't even remember what they were called, but where they had like they flipped open and you played them and they were just crappy graphics. That's the only Zelda game I ever played, but I thought this was cool. I thought Jesse would find it cool. This is Dead Pay Phone on Instagram. And it's a mix of that, the Link and, some Mythic Legion skeletons. I just think it's just super cool, just jumping into them and taking all of these guys on at once. And just a neat shot. So
it's amazing. Yeah, we're playing a lot of Super Smash Brothers right now. My son is watching, I'm sure. And I hope he's seeing this because that's a character we got recently. But that's an amazing picture.
Yeah, this is a really fun shot. I just like, how they're all kind of like, swarming him and he's just jumping in there. I mean, I've played Ocarina of Time and had a lot of fun with it. But I don't have as huge attachment to Zelda as our buddy Matt Dooch does on Offworld. But this is an awesome photo. So thank you for thinking of me with this one, Curtis. That's a pretty fun looking figure too, as far as Link goes.
Yeah, I don't know what Link that is, but that looks like one of the better ones I've ever seen.
Yeah, and this added bonus for me. This was a Instagram account that I wasn't previously following, so I love when I get a new one to add that just makes my feed a little bit cooler. So if you guys aren't following this one and you enjoy this pick, make sure to add them on Instagram. So
awesome.
Next one is Jesse's.
So this one, I don't really know what this character is. I know it's Motu, so I kind of picked this one from Curtis for Curtis. But it's our buddy Cullen, Toy Culprits on Instagram. I just loved this stark contrast between like the blue and like the pinks on the face of the critter, down in all that ivy or whatever that plant is. I don't know. I'm not a horticulturist or botanist or whatever the word is. But I just thought this was
really any kind of ist. So
yes. But I thought it was fun. I mean, it looks like, like a random animal, like popping out up from under the grass or something, like in the woods, just being like, like, I don't know. It was a lot of fun.
Is it that guy from like the pit? What is he? He came with did he come with the newer, Snake Mountain or something? I don't know. He's from Motu, right?
I have no idea.
Yeah.
I would guess that's probably correct because I know, Cullen is a big Motu guy, so that's probably right. I have no frame of reference to this character or know what the heck is going on in this picture. But it is funny because when I looked at this, I got the feeling of like a World of Warcraft Murloc. And then when Jesse made that noise, that is what I heard. So, right. So I kind of got the feeling that what Jesse was, I think, thinking when he saw this. So.
Awesome.
So, Modi. That's it.
Modi, yes, it's Modi.
Yep. Okay.
I don't know what it is. I just know
Modi is from that is a Motu. Okay.
Yes.
All I know.
He's one of the creatures because I know that they were stickers back in the day on like the Snake Mountain and stuff, and he might have been one that was a sticker that they brought to life as a figure.
Okay. It says from Eternia. Okay.
Yep. Awesome.
All right. Next one is mine. This was another one that I wasn't following, so added bonus. And this is Marvelous Shots the Fox on Instagram.
Incredible.
And just so happened to have a Kitsune Fox head from Wolf King that they painted up. And I really just love how everything came together in this. Like that Lord Bashadi like torso and those parts. With this head, and then that background looks very much like Asian inspired kind of Dio or whatever he's got going on in the background there. This just all felt right to me when I saw this. I was like, yes, I love all of this. So yeah, I thought it was cool. I thought it was a new cool Instagram to add and wanted to share it tonight.
It's amazing. Yeah, anything with beasts or animals, I love, and they did a phenomenal job on that. That head is phenomenal. That's Wolf King, you said?
Yeah.
Yep.
Do they have it without the patch?
He has several different variations of the kitsune heads and stuff. So
that's what it is. That's
not
right.
this.
Yeah,
this old kitsune. This one only comes with the patch currently.
Yeah, but there's other other styles that aren't this exact head that have without the patch. They've got some that go in like hoods. They've got several different varieties. Most of them were designed by Jeremy and then sculpted by Walter DeMarco. So I just thought this was really cool.
Yeah, I've definitely seen those heads. This is amazing though. I don't remember what the patch, but I
think I'm taking a look because I think he said that he got it from somebody that had painted it for him. So I just want to make sure I give credit to that. So I'm going to take a look. Jesse, your thoughts on this one?
I think it's really cool. It's I'm doing a custom that's a very similar build to this, so I'm glad to see someone do it in different colors than what I'm thinking of doing. So and I originally thought to do it in like that black and gray, and now that I see this, I'm like, all right, that itch is scratched. Someone's whether it was them or someone else, they killed that. So I'm like, all right, I'm not going to attempt to do that color scheme. So but this is really cool. I'm curious about that sword. I don't recognize that sword.
Yeah, I don't recognize the sword either. It says here, I put it in the chat there, at HSEJURO, which I am following. So
we've featured them in shelf selections before a couple times.
Gotcha. So that's who he got the head painted from, and then just I guess put it on this body and took the shot, and it came out really good.
Yeah,
so
that's a really fun photo. I can feel the atmosphere of whether the ninjas are going to be running across the rooftops or the soldiers are going to be running out to confront him or something. Yeah, it's.
I love this one. This is amazing.
I have a feeling that Jeremy would be okay with this as well. Like his Legions Con 22 setup where he had like the dojo and some different stuff like that with all of his critters. I think this would fit right in with that. So
that was my first Legions Con. So I saw that. That was amazing.
Paul says, cool. I thought the red strap was a long tongue sticking out at first. I guess I could see that. And then the next one is Jesse's.
Oh, that's awesome.
So Phoenix Force Creations. I've been following them for a while. They do a lot of obviously Marvel and X-Men related customs, usually like resculpt hair, redo faces. I just think, especially with X-Men 97 out recently, and the whole basketball scene, which is right out of some of the issue 4 from the like the branch off series they started in 91. And I just really like what they did here, like the leaves flying around and everything. So I've been really following them
a while myself. I've been following them too. His work is next level. Like his face, his eyes. Yeah, like some of the best I've ever seen. Yeah, he's amazing.
And the hair.
Is it
the hair that they?
Yeah, the hair. He always sculpts it, I think.
Yep. Like you might add it on to what's already there, but there's always extra hair. Yeah. There's a lot of personality and action.
Yeah, I don't know if it's Mike De La Paz or not.
So this is like super interesting for me. I love the shot, love the photo, the custom of it. But the funny thing is, because a lot of times I don't get to see Jesse's picks beforehand. Like he sends them to me a few hours before the show. I throw them in the slides, and I don't really look at them too much until we actually get to the show. But what's funny about this one is I had seen a photo that I was going to use for shelf selections, and then I guess I thought I took a screenshot, but I guess it didn't save or something. I'm not sure what happened. And then I couldn't find where it was or who it was attached to. But after you showed this picture just now, I went and looked it up to make sure this was somebody I'm following because I think it looks cool. And what I found was, I'll share something real quick. I saw this one from the same person. And this was going to be one of my shelf selections for tonight. And I totally, I guess, just flubbed up taking the screenshot, and then I could not find it. So thank you, Jesse, because you helped me to find it by doing the one that you did. But again, you know, you talked about like the basketball theme and you know, taking these things and customizing it and the hair and all this kind of stuff. Yeah, just amazing job on these. So, you know, whether it's the Gambit or this Rogue, like, killer job. Love the vibes on these. Just a lot of fun, like throwing a lot of fun into the custom as well as into the photo. So yeah, that's really neat.
Yeah, we've been watching X-Men 97 too, so that's awesome. It's really good too. You guys been watching it?
Yeah, I am. What I would say is for Big Greg or anybody like Big Greg out there, not everybody sees it when it first comes out, each episode. So please don't put in spoilers on Facebook like big jerk. Yep. And I say big because you're big. So just FYI, throwing that out there.
So no spoilers in the comments tonight, folks, please.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah.
I'm really enjoying it, and I didn't like the original cartoon back in the day. So I'm surprised how much I'm liking the current show.
Yeah, I'm liking it a lot. So and this is a great shot. If you're not following this account, at Phoenix_Force_creations on Instagram. My next one, big surprise, it's got a Superman tie-in. This is Lights Camera Action Figures, which is, I can't remember if I was following this one or not, but this is absolutely amazing. You got a mix of Mafex and Mezco here, which I think are, you know, two of the best companies when it comes to putting together awesome figures. I will say that I'm not typically a fan of the Mezcos when they do like the bodysuits, but the way that this came out with the black suit Superman, I think looks really cool. He's got him ripping off that head on the Mafex Cyborg Superman. And yeah, this is just a really neat shot. I know that Superman does come with a lot of different options in terms of like facial expressions and things like that. But just the way that this was put together and just the emotion in this is really cool. So once again, that's at Lights_Cameras_Action Figures on Instagram.
Amazing shot. I like the lighting.
Sorry, go ahead, Chris.
No, I like when they play with lighting, and you could tell when the photographer knows what they're doing with the lighting. So that looks beautiful. Yeah. And I didn't even notice that head. That's sick.
Yeah, this looks like it could be a like a comic book cover, just like the way it's framed and everything, like, you know, a cool dynamic cover shot. I'm not as familiar with this version of Superman, so like the giant like Rob Liefeld like shoulder straps going on there are a little distracting just because I don't know what they are, but I love the shot.
Yeah, I even like on the if you look at the neck post of the Cyborg Superman, he added like some wires and stuff. Like he had, you know, he ripped off the head and there's just like some dangling electronics and things like that. So and you know, just as somebody that, you know, loved the Death and Return of Superman, like when he came back and was in that black suit, he really didn't have like any powers. So this, you know, from that perspective, it doesn't make a ton of sense for this. But the picture is phenomenal. The way that he's put it together, the emotion in it, it's really cool. So
very cool.
Next one is Jesse's.
This one really just kind of came out of nowhere for me. I was just scrolling through and I saw this as collectors.orbit.
Really came out of nowhere. You got him hiding in.
I mean, I wasn't like looking for like Rambo. Like I've seen the movies, you know, but it's not like a high like catch my attention thing. But just this figure, like the way it's kind of got like that you know, Pacific Northwest fog and like the trees and everything. And you know, he's sneaking up on someone, you know, in the foreground there, you know, it's just I just think it's a really great shot that really evokes the feeling of that first movie. So yeah,
I just thought it was funny. He said coming out of nowhere because he looks like he is coming out of nowhere. So it wasn't just the picture, it's the actual picture.
Yes, I wasn't trying to make a pun for once.
Right. but you're still funny even when you don't try to be. Yeah, this is cool. I like that, he's sneaking up on this person has no idea what's going on. And you can see he's kind of put this makeshift camouflage, outfit together, and is getting ready to take somebody out. So yeah, this is cool. I love the way that they frame the shot. The like that tree, whatever you used for the tree bark in the background looks super realistic. I like that there's kind of that morning fog rolling in or whatever. So yeah, really cool. This is at collectors.orbit on Instagram. So
that's amazing. Yeah, I'm not that familiar with Rambo either, but we had my brother had a Rambo playset in the 80s with the tower. I don't know if you guys remember it, but it had a base, and the base, it was like a little pond filled with water, but I definitely used to play with my battle beasts on that. So I can associate battle beasts with Rambo.
Yeah. Hey man, you can use anything with battle beasts.
Exactly.
And I'm pretty sure that tree in the background is just scale appropriately scaled stick or branch off a tree.
Gotcha. That's kind of what I was thinking, but I didn't. Some people put some realistic Dio type things together, so I wasn't sure. But that's what it. Yeah.
It could be a Dio thing they made too.
Yeah,
for sure.
My last one for today is at Toys and Photography on Instagram, and I've been talking on several times recently about just when I was a kid, I was really into anything snow colored. Anything that I could. When it would snow here, it wasn't often, but we would maybe get 2-3 weeks of snow a year, and when it did, all of my snow themed characters came out, and I was out in the yard playing in the snow with them. So a shot like this, Thalen's one of my favorite characters in Mythic Legions, and then that D20 wolf just looks awesome with her. And then you've got the little, I don't know if I've seen them use potato flakes or different things to generate snow, or whether it's maybe it's just photoshopped in, but it looks super cool. So whatever he did here came out fantastic, and I absolutely love this shot. So
me too. I love those wolves too. I have the black one.
Yeah.
I love the white one. This makes me just wish. Not wish, but want to get the white one as well.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, she looks great with it.
Me too.
It just the lighting on this, Thalen, I think is a really fun figure, and I usually have her tucked up, but since I did that one Caribou custom a couple months ago, I've had her more down because I did it to match him, and so I'm really looking at her like, man, I really want to get some more of her because just the colors on this figure are absolutely gorgeous, and this is a really awesome shot. Despite being in the snow, there's a warmth to this picture.
Yes.
It feels like more like heroic lighting, and I really dig it. It feels like she's about ready to get into action and kick some frozen ass.
Kent Poole says he'd like to know my S tier snow figures. I might have to put something like that together because I definitely had several snow themed figures and vehicles and stuff when I was a kid. And a lot of stuff now, that's the reason why the ice troll is my favorite. I've done, a few times when it snowed here, since I started collecting Legions. As soon as it does, I want to take that ice troll outside.
Yeah.
So yeah, that'll be something. Maybe we'll do an OffWorld or maybe we'll do a separate segment or something on there. Because I definitely am interested in that. So
same. Yeah,
super chat from Purple Gang Gang. Curtis, can we hear your Stallone impression?
Yes.
Sure you can. It was on one of the episodes of Purple Gang Gang Live. There's about I think 12 or something of them in there now. If you're not already subscribed to that channel and watching those, you really should be. But if you go back and watch every episode of Purple Gang Gang Live, you will hear it at one point in there. So there you go. Thanks for the super chat.
Okay.
Appreciate it.
I mean, we read the super. Just because we read the super chat doesn't mean the question will be resolved.
He wants to know if they can hear it. Yes, you can hear it. That's true. That is where it's located.
So, true.
Correct.
And the last shelf selection for the day is Jesse's, and I think Jesse knew that I was trying to pick out one that I thought he would like, and so he picked out one that I would like. But Jesse, you tell the folks that you did this?
I'm going to be 100% honest. I don't want to sugarcoat it and say I picked it for you, because I grabbed it. Like I said, I grabbed several, but when I was looking back through the ones and I looked at this closer and I realized, did you mute me?
No.
Okay.
No, I would never mute you.
When I realized which turtle it was, I was like, oh yeah, I definitely got to use this one. So when I initially grabbed it, it wasn't for you.
Yeah.
But I love that pose. When I realized it was Donnie, I was like, this is kind of cool. Like he's usually doing like nerdy, geeky stuff and everything. But just seeing this feels kind of, a little more pensive, a little more, tough guy, whatever. So yeah,
dramatic. I like it. Yeah. Those are my favorite turtles when there's no pupils. Those are the only turtles I like. The badass ones.
Yeah, I love that he's just kind of looking down on whatever's going on below him. The Mezco ones, they've got all these different attachments that you can use for the bandanas to make it look, different ways. And using it the way that they did, where it's kind of going upward, makes it look like the kind of wind is blowing in a certain direction, like from the side of him going, at that angle. So I love those little things. Like, it's not just behind him, it's like actually flowing. And these Mezco turtles are just amazing. I know they talked about it recently. Eric Miller talked about it on the Mythic Enablers podcast, which, if you're not listening to that, if you love audio podcasts or love Mythic Legions, that's a really good one to check out. But he was talking about this set. It really is a phenomenal set. I mean, I've bashed Mezco over the years more than probably anybody. But they really killed it on this TMNT set. And if you're a Turtles fan, you really should have it. Even if you just want one, even if there's like the one figure you like, if you're a Raph fan, for instance, if there's anybody out there listening right now and they're a huge Raphael fan, find a way to get that figure, because this is, I think, the definitive best version of the Turtles that's been done in figure form. So yeah, just phenomenal. And in case we didn't mention it, this is at lawless_studios on Instagram.
Yeah, I don't have any Mezco, but that looks amazing. I love the Super 7 turtles because they're just like, they're so good. They're like giant versions of the vintage, holding them in your hand. It's like being a kid again. And then some NECA, I do the movie ones, but I don't have any really stylized ones like this, but that looks amazing.
Yeah. And also, this was an Instagram I wasn't following, Jesse, so thank you for that as well.
Oh, you're welcome.
And for those that aren't,
step away for a quick second.
That's fine. If you don't know, there is currently a wait list going on for the Mezco turtles. So if anybody out there, I know they're selling on eBay for crazy amounts, and I don't know if the wait list will get fulfilled. But just be aware there is a wait list out there. So if you're really interested in these and you didn't pick them up, I would get your name on that wait list and cross your fingers like I am, because I bought the Donatello on one of the Mezco groups, and I'm needing the other three now because it's just such a great set. So it was 400. Steve says 400 or 500. It was 400 initially. $399 or whatever it was plus shipping. But I mean, right now they're selling for $750, $800 on eBay. So they're a little pricey if you're getting all of them. But I have seen people piecing out just like the individual turtles for around $150, $175.
Wow.
Which is pricey, but I'm telling you, it's I spent $150 on my Donatello, and it's probably the best $150 I've spent in a long time. So.
Awesome.
That is it for shelf selections, but I do have one more thing I wanted to show before we move on, because surprise to me and Jesse, we didn't really know about this until people started getting this in hand. But Len took something from Purple Gang and made it into a real life thing, which is illustrated in this shot here from Tatted Toy Dude on Instagram, as well as Wholesome Warlock on Instagram. And it is the Shooting the Shelf brick, now available at Wolf King Customs. When you go to check out at Wolf King Customs, it's got a little space where you can put, how you found out about them. And if you put Shooting the Shelf sent you, you're going to get one of these bad boys. And you can just paint it up as is. You can add some flannel like these gentlemen did to make it easier to throw that brick through people's windows and then shout, Shooting the Shelf sent me. Yeah, pretty cool. What do you think about this, Jesse?
I think it's really cool. I also don't advise anyone to throw this or real bricks through any windows, let alone saying Shooting the Shelf sent you. But I think this is really cool. I was like, I don't remember who I saw it from first, but I don't know if it was something you sent. I think you sent me. I was like, what is this? Why don't we have these? I guess I haven't put in a Wolf King order since he started doing this. So.
Well, I hear what you're saying about not throwing it through people's windows and saying Shooting the Shelf sent you, but I've got another point of view. So I'm going to pull us off screen for a second because I've got something that may combat that a little bit. So be right back with you folks. Just give us 1 minute.
This is me in chair 4.
Shooting the Shelf sent me. Yo.
There you go. I mean, G says Shooting the Shelf sent him. I mean, I got to say that we must have sent him.
But he didn't throw it through a window. So
that we know of.
I'll endorse that video as is.
Yeah, and let that be a lesson to anybody that is going to throw a brick through a window and say Shooting the Shelf sent me. Don't have video evidence. That could be used against you.
No, just don't do it.
I do have one question.
You got options. So yeah, go ahead.
Do you think that the purple llama was drinking red wine, or was he sacrificed? And is there his final moments?
Yeah.
No.
I'm not really sure,
because that could be wine in that goblet there.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure he called this his battle llama or war llama or something.
Yeah. I don't know what llamas do normally. I definitely don't know what purple llamas do.
Right.
And I don't know what purple llamas that are raised by goblins do. So
yeah.
I'd
say don't kill them though. I mean, that's like killing a unicorn. Why would you kill a purple? So I hope it's wine.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. But there you go. So that is shelf selections as well as a little special thing from Len LaGuardia. So
I mean,
go ahead, Jesse.
Man, Jordan, be careful. Like, you don't want me to start suggesting people what I want to suggest people to do and tell them that the Purple Gang sent them. So,
Gotcha.
Like, the joke is starting to run a little thin, man.
Oh boy. I hear the word moratorium coming. Be careful, guys. You don't want the moratorium. All right. Well, Chris,
real quick before we get into Chris,
yeah.
If I disappear, it's really windy out here, so I might just be on my way to the land of Oz. Like I literally feel the breeze blowing through my building, and it's making stuff shake. So
yeah, we had a lot of thunder today, actually, and past us. Definitely some thunderstorms.
By wind, do you mean to say that you were upset about Len making that brick and he's in your basement and you do have to check up with him and bring pizza rolls?
No, I mean the natural occurrence of, pressure systems, wind blowing the air outside. Like,
gotcha. We'll call it wind. Len, I hope you're doing good out there. Enjoy the pizza rolls. So
I think they confirmed it was red wine. That's good.
Okay, cool. And G says he's going to build a Jesse's basement. So you're going to need quite a few bricks. But I tell you what, they look like they stack really well. Van had a huge stack of them going, like one on top of another last night. Wasn't even like interlocking them or anything, just boom, 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 boom. And he got it pretty good. So you might be able to build a nice little basement with that. Cool. Well, Chris, we really wanted to talk about these Battle Beast customs. But before we do that, can you kind of talk about your history with Battle Beast? What made you enjoy that line so much? And then what then precipitated you to say, okay, I want make these in a bigger scale and include, mythic and cosmic legions in these customs and that kind of thing. So what, tell us a little bit about that attachment to the property.
I mean, there's a lot of toy lines I collected. My mom called me the collector of collections, but nothing like has my heart like Battle Beasts. I've always said, if there's a fire, I'm grabbing my Battle Beasts, and then I'm going to come back for my wife and kids.
What if there's a water, or a wood? Would you also grab your? See what I did there with that?
Yeah, that was good. I mean,
all right.
The memories. I have so many good ones, and I was hoping to hear some of yours tonight too, if you got some. Because like in the snow, like I always used to dig tunnels, and the polar bear in the snow. I don't think I had a ton when I was little. I remember having a sandwich bag full of them, but I never gave up on the line because they were mysterious too. Like in elementary school, I remember kids saying like, "There's 700, there's 1,000."
Yep.
And the mystery of each animal. Some of the animals, like kids didn't know what the tarsier was. I remember kids calling him a gremlin.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a dragon in the laser beast line, so it's not as far fetched as some people might think. But really, it was for years. I never gave up on the line, and I would find them at yard sales and flea markets in Florida. My sister, we found an amazing bag once. That was the first time I ever came across a laser beast. I was like, "What the heck is this?" And I saw the orb had water in it, so I knew it was a battle beast. But yeah, and then years later, I wanted larger scale battle beasts, and I was waited for years for it. And I got into Mythic Legions only a few years ago. Maybe, I don't know, I'm pushing 4 or 5-ish years. Maybe, I don't remember, but they were some of the best figures I've ever held in hand. Going to Legions Con 2022, I started picking up animal heads. I was going to do Battle Beast customs, and I procrastinated like crazy. And sure enough, I start seeing some people posting Battle Beast customs, and I was like, oh my gosh, I wanted them so bad.
Right.
I had an idea at first. I was going to commission other people to do them because I love the idea of having other artists' pieces in my collection. But ultimately, it was kind of just, I decided I'm just going to start doing them myself. And I collected 3D printed animal heads from everywhere for probably almost 2 years before I started to do it. And once I started, I just can't stop, I love every single one. My favorite part is the build. So once I've painted them up and I've sealed them and whatnot, because I loved that about Marvel Legends. That was my favorite thing about Marvel Legends was the Build-A-Figures. Yeah. The feeling I would get when I would complete that Build-A-Figure. This is like that times a million. It's just the most, like when I put the shark together, I almost cried. Like it was that incredible to me. It was like, right. Because I wanted it for my entire life, like a large scale battle beast. And these also, they kind of let me see, like, can you imagine if they were to do like a live action battle beast movie or something? Like, Transformers, like it would be mind blowing for guys like us. We would love that, But these were just some of there was a lot of 3D printed heads that I saw out there, animals and stuff. So it was a perfect line for it. And once I've always liked, Lord of the Rings, stuff like that. So I love Mythic Legions, but as soon as I heard about Cosmic Legions, I was like, this is up my alley. I've always loved sci-fi a little bit more. So Cosmic Legions just happen to be perfect, but I am using Mythic parts whenever I don't have the Cosmic part, basically,
Gotcha. Yeah, first of all, I did see Jesse pulled up the comment, but I wanted to pull it back up. Joe Vespola says he's a big fan. Painter from the studio.
Thank you.
Love all his work. And, I know he's like, for us Battle Beast fans, like he is our inside guy.
I know. I talked to him.
If there's ever a chance that Four Horsemen could pick up that property and do something with it,
do it, Joe.
He's the guy that's going to be talking in Eric's ear for us.
I know.
So that's cool.
Yeah,
I saw David Williams also chatting, and he's made a few Battle Beast tributes, and I know he was actually talking to me on Legion's chat Friday night, and talking about how him and you talk very often, and I'm
a fan of his. Yeah,
just share some things about Battle Beast and what things that you're working on and stuff. So that's cool.
Absolutely.
I will say, like for me, my attachment to Battle Beast was really a lot based on the size of them. So
that too.
When I was a kid, like we would go on a lot of trips. My parents would. My dad was a plastic salesman. We did a lot of traveling during the summer, and so we would just drive all over, and we would stay in hotels and stuff. So I couldn't take my whole toy collection with me.
Yes,
but Battle Beasts were small enough that I know you showed us before the show. You had like the little lunchbox with it.
Yes.
You could take a lunchbox, you could fill it up with a whole bunch of them and get to the hotel and have a whole adventure. So it's like, okay, do I want to take 2 or 3 of the larger size figures, or do I want to take a bunch of Battle Beasts and I could do whatever? So that was really my big attachment to them, was just how small they were. You could throw a couple in your pocket and go anywhere with them.
I still do.
Yeah, you could sneak them to school if you wanted to. Don't let the teacher see it, because you don't want the teacher taking your Battle Beast. Yeah, and I usually wouldn't take their weapons if I was going to take one with me, but
never.
Yeah,
you got to come with the bandolier, which is right.
Yeah, and that bandolier. So because of that, because the thing that drew me to them was the size. I never thought that I needed a 1/12 scale or bigger version of Battle Beast, because I always liked the tiny size. But then when I started seeing some ones that Emil did and David did and you were doing, I was like, man, these things are really freaking cool.
Yes.
And it just hit me right in the feels. So
no, I agree on the size though. I remember bringing him to the dentist, and like anywhere I could bring him, like they were always in my pocket. Like I always had them with me. It was just that line that I've just loved since the late 80s, and I've just continued to love them. Yeah. Just so nostalgia overload,
Yeah. Well, that's how it is with me. I mean, just especially seeing your works, like they're trying to envision what they would look like in 1/12 scale or bigger is one thing, but making it happen and making it like immediately you see it and you're like, I know what that figure is. Like it's there's something special to it. So I know we've got a slideshow here that's got several of the pieces you've showed, kind of work in progress pictures that I think will help people to understand what kind of work went into these. But before we do, I just want to kind of turn it over to Jesse, because I know I've been geeking out for a while, and you've been telling your story. Jesse, I know this wasn't like your number one line or anything like that as a kid, but did you have any attachment to this or any sort of? Okay.
For sure. I think it was one of those things where like I just liked too many things. So, I had a handful of Battle Beasts, because I also, I don't remember exactly when they came out, but like, somewhere between Transformers and Ninja Turtles. So it was just one of those things that I didn't get to stay as focused on, but I loved every time I would see the commercials, because the kids were out playing like in the woods, or like, and like
that tile was amazing.
Yeah. Or like the fireplace, or they'd be out like where the chopped wood was, or just like all these places. I'm like, hearing you guys tell stories that you just like took them on, on trips, or, taking in your pockets and stuff. And I'm like, man, I have 3 now. During COVID, I went on like a whole nostalgia, like during quarantine, I started going on like a nostalgia, like looking for old stuff that my parents either made me get rid of or I just lost over the years. So I found 3, and I want to say like I paid a ridiculous amount of money for as big as they are, and they're not complete. I don't think any of them have their rubs on them anymore. And I kept trying to get ones that were different colors. But they're all some versions of like blue and yellow. Yeah. Which was not like an intentional thing. I have like the bear with the blue and the brown, and then I have like, I think the giraffe and the rabbit. So it's like blue and like yellow greenish colors. It's just
that's my thing now, because I'm so deep in the line. I'm doing a lot of the variants. Like I just got from Beast Formers. The Battle Beast community is amazing, by the way. I just got the BDC bear, so that's Bestias de Combates, which is like, I think it was Spain maybe, but he's literally a gray bear. I mean, he's right there if you want to see him. And the gray deer, he was in my photo actually, Curtis, on Instagram. You could see the BDC deer. He's in a little rough shape, but those are really cool. So it's the color variations, like the gorilla. There's an orange gorilla. I know he's got a red suit, but there's an orange gorilla. So the variations are just amazing. That's one thing that's been fun about it too, is being able to go after those, thinking I was done, and my buddy Killer Carp on Instagram, Dave, his handle is Killer Carp. I met him at a toy show. It was Shop the Curiosity, and he was awesome. He's like, dude, because I told him I was done. I got them all with the rub signs. He said, you're never done collecting beasts. And that hit me in the feels, and I was like, you know what? I get it. You know, I especially get it now because I'm just like, and I just got these. I mean, my first ever carded battle beasts, like those were a grail for me for years. If you can get those $200 or under, that's a steal. You know, so it's just amazing. I'm going to try and get more. Series 1 I'll probably stick with mostly, but I can't afford them all. I mean,
well, I'll tell you, like, one of the other, for me as a kid, one of the selling points that I had about Battle Beast, one of the things that I thought was cool about them, I just found out this year was not true. Because I always thought that each Battle Beast only had one rub.
I knew you were going to say that.
So because, I mean, this is back before like the internet. We didn't have forums. We didn't have stuff to look this up. The commercials didn't tell you like all of this stuff. And there weren't, like, you didn't just have like a lot of friends that were super knowledgeable about these things. So I always thought that, you have to do the rub in order to find out whether they're wood, water, or fire. But I thought whatever that symbol was, that every one of that battle beast, every one of that, you know, particular creature was the same symbol. And I thought that was pretty cool about it, because it's like I would get like the shark one or something, and I would be like, oh, well, this is definitely going to be water.
I got the wood shark.
And then you would rub it, and you'd get the wood sign. You'd be like, oh, that's actually kind of cool, because you would expect him to be water, but he's actually undercover and he's like a wood guy or whatever. And I didn't know that they made them in all three symbols. And you said,
I know what you mean. Unless you had a friend who had one, that might have been how I figured it out. But for me, like getting the wood shark, I'm like, there has to be a water shark, you know? And I think it must have just been that I had friends who had them. I don't know about you guys, but where I grew up, every kid had battle beasts. Like all my
for
friends.
me, it was just me. I didn't know any other kids that had them.
Oh, wow. That's crazy.
So that's what, like, I just assumed that they were, because I never, you know, they sold them in the 2-packs. So it wasn't like a mystery box or something where you got multiples of the same figure to where you would figure it out, you know? So I always just thought, that's, and let's dig in him here, because this is how they sold them. And so, it was like a 2-pack, but you didn't know what symbol they were going to be. So I didn't ever buy the same character multiple times. And I didn't know that there was, you know, they had other symbols for them. I just found that out. Actually, my friend Emil told me that, and I was like, I actually called him a liar. I told him that he was lying, that wasn't true. And then I had to do some research on it. I found out that I was wrong. It was that damn Missouri education that, you know, failed me again.
I'm really close. I'm really close to having wood, water, and fire of every beast.
That's crazy. Yeah, that's crazy. Okay, well, let's go. Well, I did want to pull up one more thing real quick. Sorry, before we get to yours, because I know I had talked to you about this, but you said that you weren't collecting these. But this was another one of those lines that I really loved. Oh, those are cool. This was the KidWorks Thundercats, and they were basically same size as Battle Beast, maybe even a little bit smaller. But like these were my Thundercats. Like all the other kids had like the LGN, like big, huge, clunky, whatever Thundercats. Like these were my Thundercats because they were so tiny. Same thing. I could put, you know, the whole collection into a lunchbox and take it with me on a trip, and I could have the whole thing there. So anything small like that, I absolutely loved. So
yeah, me too.
This is not anything that you had as a kid or remember?
Me?
Yeah.
No, I didn't have these, but I'm with you on that. Like I had small versions of a lot of things. And I mean, not these. I was never big into Thundercats or He-Man as a kid. I'm into He-Man more now than I was as a kid. I had Battle Cat when I was a kid. Yeah. And I might have had He-Man. My best friend, who like our backyards were connected, we played with Battle Beasts all the time, but he had Panther and Skeletor. So I mean, it's still like so nostalgic to me, even though I didn't have them. Thundercats I never got into. I know that everybody loves them, but Yeah,
and if it wasn't for these little ones, I honestly wouldn't have got into it. And they have zero I mean, when I say zero, I don't mean limited. Like they have zero articulation. They're just like little rubber figures.
Yeah.
But they did have weapons. Like this monkey. Oh, dude, I love that monkey. I love that monkey and with the flail and
so could you lose that little weapon? It's not attached.
You can take the weapon out. Yeah, the weapons are removable, but their arms like he's got his one elbow up and he's holding the weapon. That's how he is all the time. So if you lose the weapon, he's just got his hand up like for no reason.
Very high.
Yeah. And like the Panthro, that was my other favorite. So like when the Super 7, just did the Ultimates, those were the two that I had to get because as a kid, these were the ones that I loved. And those were my favorite too, because they had like the swinging weapons. And so, yeah, that's where my Thundercat nostalgia is from. But yeah, awesome stuff. So let's start looking at your work because we've got a lot of pictures, folks. Yeah, almost like muscles for sure, except for they had weapons. So this is just kind of, I wanted to throw this one first because this is a good picture of I don't think at this point it has everything that you've done. Because I see the deer missing and maybe one or two others.
The rhino and the deer.
Yeah, but this is a pretty cool shot to where it's got, several of the ones that you've done in either 1.0, ogre, or we see troll size, along with the individual battle beasts that you were doing it based off of in front of them. So can you talk to us a little bit about this and this setup and just kind of what your thoughts were as you started doing this?
So I have a pretty good sized glass case in my bedroom. But we have family over and stuff and like people over sometimes and people are wanting to see my battle beasts. I wanted to show off my battle beasts. So this is in our lodge, which is essentially our living room. And I moved them out there just because I wanted to be able to show them off for when people came over. Mm-hmm. So that's really the gist of it. I have a good space there because my wife is very generous with our space. But yeah, that's really the gist of it. I just moved them. They're normally in a glass case and I want to get them back in there, but
yeah. And I love how you have it displayed with the original one with them. I've only got one custom right now, which is the one that Emil did for me, the gargantuan gorilla, and I've got him the same way. I've got him in my case, and then I've got the little one right in front of him. So it's really cool to have that double visual. So
I do have one new one that I wanted to reveal one tonight on the show, but it wasn't going to happen. But I was like, the stage I'm at now. Yeah, I don't know. I don't normally put them together, but I put them together just so I could show you guys tonight. So I'll show him off.
Awesome.
Whenever you want to see it.
Jesse, any thoughts on this overall shot before we get into the individuals?
I mean, I'm gonna save up comments for like every couple of pictures because I'm just gonna be like, oh, these are so cool. Like I don't have the words to like really get into. See, I'm even stumbling here. But just looking at all these, I'm like, I want all of these. I want the little ones and the big ones.
Yeah.
It's like I just want to go out in the woods and play with these things.
Yes.
Well, speaking of the little ones and big ones, I did see a question here. First 58. Have you guys seen the Combat Creatures line? Totally resembles Battle Beast. I did see it. I did back it. They're not the best figures I've ever seen, just based. I don't like, there's like an articulation point on the thigh that is kind of very noticeable. But they've got both a big version and a tiny version, like a 3D printed version that looks, it's pretty much the same scale as Battle Beast and looks just like Battle Beast.
I have those. Those are amazing. The little ones are amazing.
The little ones, if they would have just did a Kickstarter on the little ones, I would have bought just the heck out of those.
Same.
Yeah, but I did buy I went all in on the original size figures, and then got the bonus little figures with it. Doesn't quite do it for me. Like it doesn't hit me enough that I go, I never need another Battle Beast line. But it is cool, and I do like it.
I appreciate them too, but those were like, I started this right around the time that Kickstarter was ending. And I wanted to back it, but I missed the early bird, which gave you the 4 little minis for free. And because I missed the minis, I didn't back it. But they didn't hit the nostalgia for me. You know, I did see there was one painted like the fox or something.
Mm-hmm.
Those were part of the reasons I was like, all right, I'm going to do it myself, you know?
Yeah. I think if they revamped that line, even in the original scale, and just did new ones, new creatures, whatever, in that original scale, I would be all over it. I would, man. So
yeah, same.
So let's get into some of yours here. So I'm going to roll through like some of these progress picks. There's going to be some that we'll ask some questions, kind of how you decided to do this or that. But then we'll get to like the final shot of, you know, how it came together and kind of go from there, because we do have a lot of things to go through, and we're not going to make it.
I know.
So I was going to say, like, I know the weapons for the Battle Beast were very unique looking, and I like how, you know, not many of them resembled like real weapons that we see like every day in different toy lines and stuff. So a lot of these you're having to create yourself. So if you could just a little bit talk about kind of that aspect of it, like with the weapons, trying to recreate those.
So that was something I really wanted to do because, you know, I love that axe from Detour, but it just wasn't working he looks great with it, but I want them to have their original weapons. So, so speaking of him, Detour, I love Detour. I approached him, and he's going to hopefully be making all my weapons for the line. I've sent him.
Nice.
I'm hoping he's going to have them done by Legion's Con, at least. But I'm doing some on my own now that I talked to Detour, and I want him to do the weapons for me because he's just such an amazing weapons and special effects guy. I kind of started. That's why you're starting to see me reuse weapons more. Whereas at first I was making them like the skunks. I love, like, even if he makes the skunks, I love the weapon I made for the skunk. War Weasels is okay. You know, it's pretty rough, but I also envisioned it as like he crafted this himself, you know, so I was okay with that. But I definitely stopped making the weapons for that reason, because I'm hoping that I'm gonna, and if he's not able to do it, that's okay. I might go back and start making them again, because I am able to do it. They are time consuming though, you know. It's definitely time consuming to make those weapons, because that was a paintbrush handle and then epoxy, and I did cardboard cutouts kind of to hold it together. But I'm glad you brought this up, because I wanted to thank Jesse. War Weasel started it all, and I got that head because of Jesse. That was at Legion's Con. I think it was last year's Legion's Con, and I asked about it, and he sent me down to the Wolf King table, and so that's where I got this head from. And the mask does come off still, so it's just sticky tacked on there, but I could pop that mask right off, and you still see the head. But that's the head you sent me to get, Jesse.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
I remember that conversation.
Yeah. Oh, it was perfect. You know, and War Weasel was always one of my favorites. That gun is from like a basic war machine, but like the idea to do the bullets, I just loved that. It's like an upgrade from the Battle Beast, but that's what makes him real, you know. This guy took me a while. The pauldrons, I had to cut those apart. You know, they're epoxied and glued on because I wanted that big torso, but I wanted the pauldrons. But obviously we don't have that, so I had to kind of MacGyver it, you know. So that was a lot of work.
I thought, you know, there was, I just, I guess, behind the curtains, I spent many hours throwing this together today, and I must have missed some shots. I thought I had the one that I was looking for on here, so I'm just going to pull this on the screen here, because this shows like you kind of creating that mask here, and it looks like you put like some maybe some plastic wrap or something over the face, saran wrap. Yeah. So then you could kind of sculpt the mask for it. And is that epoxy sculpt or something similar to that? Is that what you use there?
Yeah. It's Abe's Fix It.
Okay.
Epoxy. Yep.
And it's a one where it dries and hardens kind of thing.
Absolutely. But I like it better than the green stuff because it's softer. And after probably 20-ish, 30 minutes, it starts to get to a point where it's just perfect to work with. You could start really soft, but you know, if you're trying to sculpt hair when it's super soft, you're going to struggle. But once it starts to harden a tiny bit, you can do anything with it. Yeah. And that was fun because I used a Barbie hairbrush for my daughter, which I think I sent you, just to make because I was like, there's no way I can make those holes perfectly and his mask spaced perfectly.
Right.
The mask, and I just did the saran wrap to protect the paint job. That's all.
Yeah, and let's see. Hold on. I think
what was it? Abe's
Fix It.
Fix It.
Yeah.
Yeah, you actually had a picture of that. So let me
I went through a lot of that stuff. It's like $30-$40. That elephant, man, he was expensive to make.
Yeah.
I bet.
Here we go. So this shows the little Barbie brush that you used to try to get that.
Yes, it was perfect though.
Yeah. So this is what I was talking about. Like first of all, I love the finished products of what you've done. It hits me in the nostalgia for the actual Battle Beast. But seeing how creative you were on some of these parts, like cutting certain things apart and dremeling and drilling and using clay and sculpting and using things like a Barbie brush to put in the right spacing on some of the stuff. Like this is customized. This is like super in-depth customizing. No offense to people that pop and swap or do rivets or whatever, because everything's customizing if you're changing the figure, and that's great. But this is like next level stuff here. So yeah, that's just super cool.
Yeah.
So that's that one. And you and I had talked about like the characters for this too, because some of what maybe your favorite characters from Battle Beast are not mine and not maybe somebody else's. So that was the other cool thing about that line, is that we all have our kind of individual favorites. And I know initially you kind of were setting out to do the ones that you liked, right? And now you're kind of running to the end of that. And are you now thinking
I'm not.
You're going to do all of them?
No, I'm not.
Okay.
Yeah, I got a lot of favorites. I definitely laid them out months ago, like when I started, and I think I was around 30 to 40 that I wanted to do.
Okay.
There's some that are truly like I don't care about doing, but
Gotcha.
I might get to that point where I'm like, all right, I've done all these ones, because sometimes it just like the Battle Beast, I'll look at them like there's so many, it's like, oh, I forgot about this guy,
Right.
I think that part of it too, it's not just guys that are my favorites. It's guys that are going to translate well into a custom. Any of the guys with the weapons hands. I love the guys with the weapons hands, because the Battle Beast community loves these, but even if you're not into Battle Beast, you could still look at this and how is it a Weasel with a machine gun or a Rhino with a mace on his hand?
Right.
I mean, how's that not cool?
For sure.
I think that's one of the cool things about delving into both the Legions and the Battle Beast communities. There, a lot of people are getting to enjoy them, and I think I'm almost at like 500 on Instagram now followers, which is crazy to me.
Nice.
Like I feel like I kind of just started a few months ago, and I'm just so grateful that people are liking these, because they mean so. Like I would make these if nobody cared or wanted to see them, I'd still be making them.
Sure.
Do you, Jesse, can you throw a little banner at the bottom when you get a chance on his Instagram? So the next one I got several pictures of, because not only is it many people's favorite that you've done, but it's the one that I think just took a lot of work and customizing and vision for you to come up with. So there's a lot of in progress shots on this next one. And that is the elephant. So
yeah.
Starting out, you've got the little elephant in the middle, and obviously we see he's got like this sledgehammer hand. So that must have been one of the first things that you were trying to figure out, is like, how do I do this? So talk to us about what you decided to use there.
So I actually ended up shortening both of the arms on the elephant. And if you well, we might see it after, but if the picture where you could see the trolls with the elephants together, you could see that I shortened both arms.
Okay.
So I
think that's the last one. So we'll get there.
When you heat these guys up, I mean, with an X-Acto, they cut like butter. And I'm telling you, it did not feel right cutting up my stone troll. But that's another thing with these Battle Beasts. I'm like tearing parts off of figures, like, Marvel Legends Build-A-Figure stuff that I love. I will do anything to get my Battle Beasts. And that you can see, it's the stuff that goes around a pipe in your basement, like the foam. So I built out the middle. That's the bracelet, obviously. The center of the hammer, I didn't want to waste an amazing sculpt. I was like, I'm going to use that for the middle of the hammer.
Right.
So I used that for the center. And it goes on. I could show you. It's a magnet, basically. I did a big magnet, so the hammer is magnetized.
Okay.
And yeah, epoxy. It was in the middle. I did it in the middle of the pipe. What do you call it? Whatever it is, it goes around the pipes. Insulation. And then on the outside, I did it on the outside so that there's epoxy going inside and outside, just grabbing everything. So there's no. I dropped that hammer on the ground after I made it, and it didn't break.
Nice. So, and then you've got, so the head obviously is one that's done by Wolf King Customs. It's a giant troll elephant head that they've got out there. That's a huge piece. It's also like not cheap because it's a lot of resin. And then you're immediately like throwing, more clay and everything else on it to make it look the way that you want. And this is one of those things that I'm talking about, like, like shortening the arms on a troll and all this kind of stuff. Not only does it take the vision and like the energy to go through that, but it's also like some guts to be like, I'm going to take this, $150, $200 figure, and I'm going to start like cutting things off of it and doing anything. Because if you mess up bad enough, like that's it. Like you got to start over. So
you saw the picture of his legs, Curtis.
Yeah,
that was scary.
So this is as it starts to come together. So kind of talk to us about, now we've got the hammer together, you've got this piece on there, and you've got like a different, bracer, and then this kind of sculpted piece on the torso. So kind of talk us through that.
Yeah, that's almost all epoxy. So far it's all epoxy. The only thing that was 3D printed is the leg armor. But yeah, I mean, you can see the lines, like the divots where it's not painted black yet on his right arm there. I used the comb for that because I'm trying to mimic the elephant's armor. So I'm looking at all the details you see are pretty much on the battle beast, like those 4 like lights on the front. His head's going to cover them mostly, but they're there. So I'm trying to pay homage to the battle beast as much as I can. I take some liberties some places, but yeah, that's really, I'm trying to base it on the elephant's armor as much as I'm able to,
So then as we get to the legs, and I'm not positive, but it looks like I can see through that leg. So tell me what's going on there with the leg.
So Headhunter's Customs. He printed the leg armor for me, which was brave of him. It was a lot of resin and stuff. But I ended up having to cut the leg to fit it. And I knew that when I got it from him, he's like, he worked hard on it. He's like, this is as good as I can get it. And it was close. It was like, we were like centimeters off from because it's 2 pieces that kind of, clamp onto the leg, front and back. And so I had to shave that leg down as much as possible to get those together. And it got to the point where I was like, I'm not going to have any leg left. And it was terrifying, but it worked. I used epoxy in the middle, got it back together and stuff. So his legs are solid now.
Gotcha.
All that is under the leg armor, obviously.
So this is what it looks like with the armor on before you had done the painting on it, because this is now like all gray at this point. So it's not completed, but so yeah, anything else from that to this other than getting the leg armor on?
No, it was just the base coat of flat black that I did.
Okay.
Nothing else, I think, here. That's it.
Okay. And then now we've started getting some color on it.
Yep. I started doing a little slap chop. My buddies at Borderland taught me that. They're like, slap chop is easy. I'm like, well, that's kind of what I've always done. It's just kind of reverse. I've always done washes and dry brushes, but slap chop, for anybody that doesn't know, I guess is just the dry brush first. Then you're doing a wash over it so that you can see all those brighter tones underneath. And essentially, where it's bright white, that's just going to be a brighter purple when I go over it. But that wasn't it. Because the slap chop, I do a lot of layers, and that's for me, the layers is what really starts bringing them to life. And I know you guys know this. The more layers you do, the better it starts to look. And it takes some bravery, because sometimes it's like, this looks good, but it's not right. There's been times where I'm like, the base on this arm is a little different than the base on this arm because I dyed it or whatever, and I got to fix it. So just keep going, because the more paint you put on, the better it looks usually.
Yeah. So, and that's why I wanted to show this one, because this is, right here, I can tell you've already put a lot of work towards the paint on here. But this is not anywhere close to the final look. So this is really, like you said, it's really to try to build up the highlighted areas and the shaded areas. So yeah, that's super cool. So now we're starting to get some purple on here.
You can see the magnet now too.
Okay, so that's what's on the end of the hand. There is the wrist is the little magnet.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
I originally wanted to drill out. You see the amazing thing about the elephant. I'll grab him, but he's one of the only battle beasts that like his rub sign is actually it's low on him on his stomach. Here he is. He's got to get my little lunchbox here. Here's my camera.
Yeah, it's like a belt almost. Yeah.
Yeah, it's right here. And most of them it's up on their chest.
Yeah.
So it just worked out perfectly that it was low on him.
Gotcha.
I wanted to drill it out to do the Battle Beast logos, but it just wasn't working. So I ended up just kind of laying it over the bottom, which you'll see.
Okay. So then this is like the little teaser shadow one, which is, I mean, this is an image right here. Like this, before you see the final product, you just see this and you're like, oh shit, what is this monstrosity? Like this thing is,
it's the gorilla. I'm like, oh, I thought it was obvious, but I didn't want to spoil it because I used the helm hammer hand, like the song and stuff, you know, Lord of the Rings, I think. But yeah, and then the hammer. But this was fun. It was so much fun to do this.
And then this is the look with several of the elephants in front of him, and the final version. So yeah, tell us about finishing this, what your thoughts were, yeah.
I mean, he blew me away, obviously, like just kind of like the shark, like the same way I felt about the shark. Like, oh, and those pauldrons. So those pauldrons are from, it's a large figure, Reinhardt, I think, from Overwatch.
Okay.
Basically I hollowed those out because I think one of my buddies gave them to me. I hollowed them out. I had to cut out stuff on the inside, but once I did that, they fit. And they kind of have, there's a little pattern that they have to them that is very similar to the elephants. And it was just remarkable. You know, the pauldrons I was able to find are similar to the elephant's pauldrons. And this is the final look. The only thing I've done since is the yellow that's on his leg armor, I've lightened that up to more of a lemon yellow to match.
Gotcha. And so then we've got the picture with the rest of your trolls, so we can see kind of the arms that you're talking about.
Yes.
So this is how he compares to the rest of your trolls.
Yeah, you could tell here. I think people probably wouldn't have noticed that at first, you know. But yeah, definitely.
It does not look like a custom standing with the rest of those.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I do like how because I'll be honest, until we had you on tonight, I didn't realize that you shortened the arms. But looking at it compared to these, it does make him look stockier and more like a battle beast rather than having these, long arms that reach the ground. So I do love that look.
I had to do it because it didn't make sense to me for him to have gorilla arms, you know?
Right.
But the skin is so perfect, though. I mean, I used the stone troll, and obviously I had to get another, and I got lucky. I got one for a great price. I told the seller, I said, keep the box, keep the weapon. You could I said, I just want the troll. So he gave it to me for like $80 or something.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah. So I'm very happy to get my stone troll back because I love my mythics too, you know?
Yeah. So that's the last picture I have on this one. Before we go to the next one, Jesse, I know you've been kind of saving your thoughts. What do you got?
I love everything about this. Again, the trolls are awesome. You know, I'm never going to have the collection that Walter has, but I love seeing them back behind the different armies, just kind of rising above everybody. So seeing this elephant come to shape and how much work you put into altering it, like Curtis said, not to diminish anybody that paints or just pops and swaps, because it's all levels of creativity. But this, cutting the arms down, shaving the legs, finding those. If I would have gotten to the holes on those legs, I probably would have had like a meltdown.
Oh, I was there, man. It was nerve-wracking.
Jesse's channeling his inner Godfather. Look how they massacred my boy.
Look how I massacred my boy.
Right.
But like, it's just like the way it all comes together and just, I learned this a lot with one of my coworkers, Luke. He went to school for like visual effects makeup, like practical face makeup and stuff. So I've learned a lot of things from him about like customizing figures before I even got into Legions. And it seems like customizers for toys will figure out a way to make things that shouldn't work.
Yeah.
And this is a perfect example of that, just the ingenuity, the creativity to like, is that you see it a certain way and you're going to keep pushing and figuring something out until you get there. And like I said, I didn't mean to like diminish the quality of your custom, but like, it just looks
well, and it's not a one trick pony either. It's like you're using a combination of, 3D sculpted parts. You're sculpting things yourselves. You're cutting things. You're mixing, things from different things. Like it's like Jesse's saying, it's a total problem solving situation where you're like, I got to go from point A, which is this troll, to point B, which is this final elephant battle beast. How do I get there? How do I get from one to the other? And it's all the things that went together to make that happen. It's genius.
Patience, because I don't have patience. So these have been hard for me, but I've got formulas down now where I'm like, I can crank out almost one a week now. I remember when I first was talking to David Williams and I asked him, what it takes for him to do a custom. He's like, a day or two. And I'm like, what? How? And then I realized like there was one, the Black Panther. I did sculpting on the Black Panther. That one hits close to home for me. That one has sentimental value to me. But that one I could have done in a day or two. And I was like, okay, it depends, but like the elephant took me months, but I guess it depends if it's a repaint. Yeah, you could do it in a day, but when you're doing a lot of sculpt, you have to wait on all that epoxy to dry and stuff. But I just want to show you the hammer, how it magnetizes.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Where's the camera? So
yeah, that's awesome.
It's on a magnet.
That's so satisfying.
And it can, obviously you can
love that sound.
Yeah, and these little square rivets on top, those are on the battle beast. Those are little pieces of foam. One thing you'll learn is that foam, if you do any type of thing with foam, it stays so well. Like with super glue, that's it. Foam and super glue, like that's not coming off, and you could see the middle, the troll's bracelet.
Well, and I like with the foam to where it doesn't look perfect. Like it looks like there's some dents and things in it, like a hammer would. Like a hammer would have some like beat up parts to it, from the things that you've hit it with.
I used a belt sander on it. That's why. So you're seeing all the the destruction from the belt sander, and it worked perfect. It looks like metal,
Yeah, for sure.
Yep. I like that. No, the hammer is great.
Since we've just gotten through the elephant, I know Chris, you said you had to do something around 9:30. So is this a good time to do that little transition?
If you guys want, that'll only take me a second though.
Yeah, we are going to actually talk about the Awok Kickstarter real quick. So we're going to take you off the screen. We'll be right back with you, Chris.
Of course.
All right. So we'll be right back with Chris. But in the meantime, just a word from Awok. They have a few days left in their Kickstarter, which we are pulling up here. If you weren't aware from the 10 million shows that they did yesterday, they are nearing the end of their campaign for this Series 2, which includes several awesome new characters. And right now they are on a goal of 99,000. They're already at 257,000. So this is funded. They are hitting certain stretch goals, looking to hit others. But there's some awesome characters in here. These are the best prices that you're going to get. So, if this is something that you're interested in, make sure you go and check it out. They've only got till Wednesday morning, I believe it is.
Yeah, 58 hours, so a little over 2 days.
Yeah, I think it's Wednesday morning. I think it was supposed to be Wednesday night, but there was a snafu, so it's actually going to be Wednesday morning. But there's definitely some cool characters in here. I know they're trying to get to the elephant, which they said they think they'll probably get to. Either by Wednesday or when they get to the backer kit, those numbers go towards that as well as far as the unlocks. But this is one, it's kind of timely that we were just looking at that elephant that Chris did. And Awok is trying to unlock this behemoth, which they were saying yesterday. It is, basically like ogre scale size as far as height, but you can see he's a chunky boy. So he's going to be, almost as wide as he is tall. But just kind of look through a few of these characters. Like if you need some lizard people, that's not my thing, but hey, this chameleon, love the eyes on this. Super neat. And Jesse, stop me if there's any of these that because I know you've got a few of these. If there's any that you're really interested in, give me a heads up.
I mean, if I had the unlimited money, I would be doing, the ultra mega all in on this. I mean, I love anthropomorphic figures. I really like I know Jason was saying he wants these toys to be fun, and people just what do they call it, hand candy on the one show yesterday. I just think that these fall right into those lines. They are fun, just the different scales. I'll probably have to pick a bunch up at retail. But I love the weapon sets are a lot more unique. I feel like in this wave, not that the other ones weren't cool, but just the look of these. And you can keep scrolling, but
I'm gonna pull Chris back on and just that way if he's got any thoughts on this as we go as well. So this is a weapon set. We've got this infantry character. Love the colors on the face here, how it's that gradient from the orange to the red.
Love that. I'm all over these. The reptile ones. I got a good amount at Awok's at the last Legions Con. All that I've used so far, like my Black Panther, the Ram, and the Skunk, they all have Awok hands.
Nice.
In case people are wondering, but there's definitely parts that I could be using. I'm really looking forward to the reptilian body, because I have some of my favorites when I was a kid, Icky Iguana, the frilled lizard. But yeah, these are amazing. I'm really excited about some of these new Awok figures.
Yeah, and some different heads in case you want different looks on there.
Colors are good too.
You've got the lion here. You've got this one, Kali Prime. Got some cool little weapons with him.
I'll see the cool thing about the Kali Prime and the King Hannibal, they're evolved versions of characters they've already put out. In the size. So this is their next level.
He's way bigger than the first one, right? Prime. Yeah, Prime. He's called, right?
Yeah. So there's King Hannibal and Kali Prime. Yeah.
So this is the one that I think for me best one right here. If you're gonna get one, this is the dude, and not even because of what you're seeing here, but the alternate head, which we're gonna see in a second, is phenomenal. But I just love this build. I love the face on here. Love the armor. This, we're talking about Battle Beast tonight, and very,
the
anthropomorphic show that we're talking about. This has just got that vibe for me. So
yeah, there's a bulldog Battle Beast.
Yep. And here's the alternate heads. You can see him with the stogie there. Come on, who doesn't want that? That on this body is going to be phenomenal. So yeah, for sure. That's a must have. They've also got some female figures, female bucks in here. So you got that one there.
I got to say, other than the big ones at the end, I think the female figures are the ones I'm most looking forward to in this wave, just to have that more variety in that standard size.
Yeah.
Yep. Another weapons pack. Here's another one of the female bodies. There's the alternate looks for them. So, and then this one's super cool. I gotta imagine, Jesse, you haven't said anything to me, but I gotta imagine this is one you're eyeing.
Definitely. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's green. It's a rabbit.
To me, you get this and you just throw this right in with Zylonis flock. That's it. You don't need to do it.
I would have to repaint it to put it in with my flock.
I would put this right in like this. And then this one here is another must-have for me. I love this character. I love the just the attitude in the face, the overall build, and then the robotic arm, super cool. So, and then we've got another weapon set. So some more figures here. Another heads pack. which actually is not a heads pack. I believe they were saying it's just alternate heads that'll be in with the figures. Now, this one here, this blue translucent one, this is only through the Kickstarter. So if you don't get in the Kickstarter and you end up getting it later on from, Big Bad Toy Store or whatever your retailer is that carries these, just know this one's not going to be available. There could be a potential of them having some super limited quantities at shows. But if this is something that interests you, you need to get in the Kickstarter and get this thing. Otherwise, you're gonna probably be out of luck. So. Then we've got some bird figures.
I didn't see that.
Yeah.
I really like the birds, especially this one. I love those wings coming off the forearms, the feathers like that.
Yeah, those are amazing. I didn't
see and then we saw the this one here.
Oh.
Yeah. And then you get into, you got the elephant, and then there's some past that as well. You got the rhino.
Wow.
So yeah, there's some cool stuff that's still yet to be unlocked. But really the only way we get to those unlocks is if everybody gets in and places their order. So if you want the best pricing, you want the blue one, any of those reasons that you definitely want to get in the Kickstarter with these last couple days, so that we can get those unlocks and get some of those bigger, cooler characters as well.
When does it close, Curtis?
Closes Wednesday morning, I believe. We got 58 hours to go, so
I'm back.
Little bit of time left, and they've got some unique things. If obviously the best deal is to get the all in or the ultimate all in, I think they're calling it, which unlocks like anything that it unlocks it would include. But they also have some things like if you're just looking to get like 2 or 3 figures, they've got some sets where it comes with like 2 figures and a weapons pack for the same price that if you went to retail and just ordered the 2 figures, like it would be the same price. So you're basically getting like a weapons pack free. So things like that in there. So if you're interested, take a look at the different backing options and yeah, I mean, that's, just a great vendor. I know they've been at Legion's Con last few years. It's just some cool stuff in there. So,
go nice.
Trevor, we got a super chat 199. Did I miss the Legion's Grid speculation segment? No, that is every other show besides ours. So if you tune into literally any other show this past week, you will get just a plethora of that BS. But right now we're back with Chris talking about his Battle Beast tributes, and the next one we've got up. I wanted to really focus on another one with kind of the weapon aspect. So here you're using cardboard. So tell us about this.
The cardboard, I think, like one of my buddies mentioned, oh yeah, if you drop that, it's going to shatter. And I'm like, no, it's not, because the middle is cardboard. So maybe it could crack, but I also dropped the skunk weapon. Just, it didn't crack, didn't break. And it's also a garden spike that I used on the bottom. I shaved it down. And I just did the little line in it at the base of the handle, like the skunk weapon has.
Yep.
That was a garden spike, I believe. And then I think it was 2 pieces of cardboard. And then I did epoxy over the entire thing. And then I also did a belt sander on that to get it smooth. That's what gave me that nice edge kind of. So epoxy, you could see up top, and the handle is plastic basically.
Yeah, Chris, I think Joe is talking about the collection behind you for the vintage Battle Beast. Is that something that you got somewhere, or did you build that?
That is also precious to me because that is one of the few things I did with my brother. Me and my brother made that. We cut every little piece of wood. That was many years ago at my parents' house. That's a custom shelf that we made. It's got 80 spaces, so I have the variants in there. It doesn't fit every variant, but like the obvious ones, like Jaded Jag, he's the Jaguar. There's one with I can't point. He's right there, Jaded Jag, and then the other one, I can't do it. He's blue, so they're totally different armor. So I was able to fit most of the variants in there. But yeah, that is a custom shelf that we made. But I am aware of some really good shelves, and I could send you some links, Joe. That worked perfect.
Yeah, if you want to let us know, we can actually throw them into the description of the video so that anybody that's watching this can just go to it.
Yeah,
so that'd be great.
Yeah, after the show, I don't know off the top of my head.
Yeah, no, just whenever, and we can attach it after the fact. So yeah, that'd be awesome.
Okay. Cool.
So this is, so you did the cardboard, you put epoxy, you sanded this down, and then now this is, well, we've got right here where it's the final look.
Yes. Yep. And I kind of went copper because similar to the Battle Beast weapon. I try to match the weapons. Obviously, everything I do is to try and stay as close to the Battle Beast as possible. I've seen a lot of phenomenal artwork where the skunk had green smoke. And for me, that contrast of the green and the purple is just phenomenal. And I was like, there's no way I'm not going to do that. So I used, these are, I had to do epoxy at the bottom. So I made them, they slide right off, but they were from like the Jurassic Park. So they slide right off essentially.
Hold on, let me, can you want to show that again? I'll be bigging you.
Yeah. So it just slides right off. This
and
was
they're from what?
Jurassic World. They were like the flares.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
my gosh.
Yeah, but I sculpted epoxy on one of them, so they were identical.
Gotcha.
But yeah, it's just the color is just phenomenal. Like the purple and there's a new head on the skunk too. He's got ears now.
Nice.
Yeah, that head. There's going to be 4 heads potentially. Borderland Horde Customs skunk. One I haven't done yet actually, and the ram and the deer. Those are going to be available on Borderland Horde once they get their site up and running, and that'll be soon. Those are buddies of mine.
Nice. Yes. Yeah, Joe's saying that he uses one that displays golf balls.
That works.
Which is a pretty good idea. So
perfect.
All right, and then the next one we've got, if I can find my pointer here. So we got this, just showing some work on this one on the side.
Yep.
And then once this is kind of together,
I sculpted ears on him since then, so he has ears now.
Okay.
This was a honey badger head I found online. Actually, it was Headhunter, but it was his honey badger head, and I'm like, that is such a perfect skunk head because the skunk has that same like that white hair on the back, just like that. And I was like, oh my gosh! And for me, the skunk was one of my favorite battle beasts as a kid. To get to see the skunk unmasked after all these years is just incredible to me.
That's
and
awesome.
See, for me, that wouldn't have made my top, anything.
I love this,
but I love what you did. Like it came out fantastic. So, and I love just these photos where you've got a couple of them in there, and then you got the original Battle Beast with it. Yeah, that's cool. So this one I started off with kind of these pauldrons. So it looks like you kind of had a set, the 3D set, and then you decided maybe to make your own.
Yeah, they were. I didn't know when I ordered them they were female pauldrons. They actually fit very snugly on his shoulders and they looked good. But I wanted to be bigger. I think these were from. I always forget his name. Is it like Lord
Bardrick?
Bardrick. So I had to cut the edges so they weren't such a right angle.
Yeah.
Then I lost that little rivet, so I just sculpted the little rivet back on, and I added the spikes where just epoxy the Aves fix it.
Gotcha. And then I think I got another picture. Past that one to this one, where that's with it, kind of painted up and ready to go.
Yeah. Oh, and the chest. I sculpted the chest too. It's like a little horn. It almost reminds me of a horn, like upside down.
Okay, I see right there. Okay.
Yeah, the Battle Beast has that.
Yeah, and then with the water logo, and then you got the the little one there on the side, and
he's water for a reason. And my dad, when we were kids, he had a Black Panther tattoo. And he was a man of the water. So we were swimming all the time growing up, fishing. We were on his boat. So for me, like if I did the Black Panther water, then I was like, it's wood, water, fire. I'll have one of each. The Weasel was fire, the skunk was wood, the Black Panther was third. He was going to be, but I wanted him to be fire because of the jungle. But then I was like, wait a second. I was like they're masters of like hunting caiman. I've seen panthers, leopards, jaguars. They can all be Black Panthers diving underwater and killing caiman. I was like, and then I thought of my dad. I was like, he's water.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And then to my dad.
And then the chest logo. Now, is that a sticker or did you paint that like the water on there?
I'm painting every one of those. The water is the hardest to paint because
that is awesome. That looks so detailed.
Yeah, I do a gradient kind of on each one. I kind of do stripes across, and then I end it with the white.
Wow.
Yeah, but that's always like, that's the thing that feels like work to me now. When I'm done, I'm like, oh shit, I gotta.
I mean, it really pops though. Like even from like this, far back, you can really see all that detail. That is super cool.
Yeah. Anybody wants to try Battle Beast Customs? These were from photos that I took. And I sent Headhunter Customs. He sells those, Curtis. If you want any of those, Headhunter.
Yeah, I picked up a few of them, and I've got them. I just couldn't believe that was painted because it looks so detailed. So, I mean, you just did a great job on painting it. So yeah, that's fabulous.
Thank you.
And then this is on kind of the display stand, and so that's neat.
Yeah,
and I like how you've mixed mythic and cosmic parts with this as well.
Yes.
So
mythic on him would just be his spear, you mean?
Well, and the arms and legs, I'm guessing the upper arms and legs.
Yes, so the arms and legs.
Yeah.
Yeah, I went through a lot of barbarian.
In the head. Yeah.
Yep, in the head. You're right. I'm just thinking armor. Sorry.
Yeah, it's just like with Battle Beast, it had kind of especially a lot of these like kind of the jungle or forest type creatures. Like it had kind of like this, I wouldn't say mythic, but it had like this earthly vibe, but then it also had this armor that made it look more kind of space and futuristic. So, mixing the parts of the two, Mythic Legion, Cosmic Legion, really makes sense with these Battle Beast tributes.
And I forgot I did sculpt his crotch, the little yellow there, just so it matched the Battle Beast.
Oh, cool.
Because it was an indent, and then I used a flathead screwdriver, which made the line like perfect in the center.
Nice.
Yeah.
So next one we've got, and before we go into all the pictures of this, I'll just let you know, I thought before you sent me these pictures that the elephant was my favorite. But after going through the pictures of how you did the shark is now my favorite.
Yes.
So I'm just letting you know, like it was not my favorite, but it is now.
My son is Bruce the shark, and that's his favorite. But then again, he's been like, I think the rhino's my favorite now, But the shark was another that was scary because I heated up the torso on this guy. And because that's the King Shark DC Build-A-Figure head. If anybody has it, they know how it slips. I literally had to cut his head off. I have a picture of that, but I don't think I sent it to you.
This is on an ogre scale body, right?
Yeah, ogre scale.
Yeah. Okay.
He's a big guy too.
So this is like another shot of it where you've started kind of doing some painting on it. You started kind of fit that on there. And I also didn't know at first, like from the pictures that I'd seen previously, that jaw opens and closes. Yeah. And some of the shots that you've got with it, open and close, it's like really cool.
And the eyes were sculpted too, because I wanted to make them a little bigger like the Battle Beast.
Gotcha. So now you're starting it like the brightness as you're doing other layers and starting to highlight it. It's starting to really come out. And I think the end up paint job on this is just spectacular. So I just love seeing kind of the stages as you go through starting to paint this.
Yeah. So vibrant. Yeah.
Yeah. And then this is a picture with the other, the original Battle Beast next to it. But then like that, boom, like this shot is like, this is the money shot for me.
Oh man. Yes. With the arm up though.
Yeah. I love the mouth open. I love the colors on here. The like even like in the legs, like where you can see kind of the darker blues and stuff on the indented parts, and the really like bright blues on the top. Just an amazing paint job on top of all the creative stuff that you have to do with cutting and sculpting and all this kind of stuff. The paint work is just spectacular as well.
Yeah, I like his thighs, how his thighs came out. But actually, I mean, I don't want to upset you if you love him as is, but I'm kind of not done. What I want to do is go back, and I'm just going to hit it with a dry brush, the armor, because it's not the right blue. I don't like, I'm okay. Like if they don't have to match the Battle Beast perfectly.
Well, and
thank you, Mark.
Speaking of blue, wanted to pull up this picture you sent me because this is him compared to a Rakagor. And yeah, like they're both pretty. Those are both really nice blues.
Yeah.
And I just, yeah, they look good together.
Yeah. I love the guns too on the shoulders.
Yeah.
He just came out so cool.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
And then another photo that I really love on here.
I sculpted the fin on the calf armor.
Oh, nice. I see that. I love this shot where you got the 5 of the little ones in front of him and the little
that's the one
hog rolling in, and yeah, I love
that.
Yeah, so cool.
Yeah, he's still one of my favorites. But once I made the saber tooth, I was like, the shark and the saber tooth are probably my favorites. But I love every one of them, you know.
Yeah. So Jesse, we've gone through a couple more. What you got?
Sharks are fascinating and terrify me. I would have random nightmares about falling into National Geographic magazines and the illustrations of the sharks attacking me the further I went into the ocean. So not gonna lie, this thing's probably gonna give me nightmares, but that's just to say how good a job you did on this. Like, I was looking at this earlier, thinking, is this? What is that head from? I thought it was maybe the one of the sharks. What was the thing that McFarlane did where it was like the
king shark?
No, I mean I know that's what it is, but he had that line where it was like the part animals, part robotic. They were like very limited articulation. Just came out a couple of years ago. There was like the raptor, the snake.
We have those. You thought it was that head? Those
I was like,
the name is. Oh, it's getting me. We have them.
Yeah, it was like battle snake instead of rattlesnake, and
raw 10.
Yeah,
that shark is phenomenal.
Yeah, and I was like, well, that head wouldn't fit on a Legion body. I'm like, what is that? But yeah, this is really cool. The fact that you like did the eyes on top of it, and I never thought to put that spear in an ogre scale figure hand.
Yeah,
it looks like, I know it's like skinnier than their weapons normal are, but it looks good.
Like, did you have to close his hand up a bit in order for it to like him to be able to hold it tight like that? It just fit. Okay.
Cool. Yep, it fit.
Interesting.
Yeah, it fit.
Interesting. Okay. Anything else, Jesse?
Yeah, the shark is.
I'm just blown away by all of these. Was there a dolphin in the line too?
No, there wasn't.
Okay, I think as a kid I thought this was a dolphin, and I always wanted it.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And then
shark. So shark was a favorite. He's in my top 5, Curtis. Just so you know, the shark is in my top 5 battle beasts, and my childhood shark actually had no arms.
Yeah.
And he was still one of my favorites.
He was not in my top until I saw your custom, and then he's now one of my top.
I'll tell you this. This is illustrated by me in 1994.
Wow.
I illustrated this. This was my polar bear. You can see I erased Spider-Man, but I called him the Snow Weasel because a dog chewed off his nose. I even drew his nose chewed off. He had no arms, so I gave him a machine gun hand.
Oh, that's great.
Weasel. But where is he? Hold on. And
my shark, great that you still have that. That's cool. Yeah,
that's awesome.
That I drew, I had to make up those arms because my shark had no arms, But the great thing is that was 94. I continued in 97 with the deer and the crocodile.
Mm-hmm.
And then I continued in 2000. Got a little better. I did the porcupine.
Very nice.
It just is. I kept going, and I finished in 2010, and I called it the Raven, because I was paying homage to the fact that as a kid I gave him the wrong name, so I knew it was the Crow, but I wanted to call him the Raven.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
We got a super chat from Rob Zamora. Chris, what do you think of the Battle Beasts from Morphonauts? Is that the
I think they were the ones we were talking about, right?
The combat creatures?
No.
Okay.
Those are different. Yeah, they're amazing.
Oh, they are different? Okay.
I think they are. They're amazing. Yeah, I love those. I think you might have done the cosmic ones too. But people are doing amazing work out there with the Battle Beast stuff.
And shocker for everybody, Jordan likes the purple elephant the best. So
thank you, Jordan. I'm okay with that.
Yeah, huge surprise. So pull this shot in. This is kind of showing like your broken down parts on this figure and just kind of how you're kind of piecing this together. And then I went into, this is kind of the figure minus the chest logo.
Yep.
And
I love that goat head.
I know. I had that head saved for a long time for him. But I ended up getting a different head. Ram.
This is another one where like the chest logo, like that doesn't look painted to me. Like because I have that chest logo and I've painted that chest logo and it didn't look like that. I can tell you that for sure. I got it down.
The wood takes me 2 minutes now.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Show you exactly how to do it. Okay.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, thank you.
And then here's a picture side by side with another figure.
So yeah, he ended up with different pauldrons in that previous picture. I drilled holes to get, and those fit in perfectly. Those horns are definitely mythics. I forget where they're from. They're Mythic Legion's horns.
And you put them in it looks like Vorga pauldrons is what it looks like.
Yep.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah, I love the ram. AKA Bighorn Sheep is his name.
Where can I ask where that first head you used came from?
The first one on the left?
This one here.
This one.
I do not remember because I'm almost positive I bought it at Legion's Con 22, and I wanted to use it for Bighorn Sheep. I think that's where I got it. Oh wait, no, I think I might have gotten this head on eBay. I'll look, but I don't honestly. Yeah, I don't remember. It's not like somebody I know personally or anything.
Okay,
gotcha.
And quick shout out to new member Jose Torres. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Jose. Nice hanging out with you in the customizing studio today.
Yeah, totally.
So starting to go through this one, we've got a few pictures on this one, but yeah, talk to us about these pauldrons first.
So those were they're cosmic. I know they go over. They were clear green or something. Maybe they came with Sligo or something, but my buddy Ben McCall, I know he was in the chat earlier. He said,
"Oh, that's the face shield, isn't it?"
Yeah, he said, "What if you use that space bubble from?"
Oh my goodness,
from Cosmics? And I said, "Space bubble." And so I thought he meant the whole helmet that goes over, which I used that for something recently. But
I didn't even realize that's what that was. That's awesome.
Yeah, I went downstairs and I saw that, and it's crazy that they're actually very similar to the shape of the battle piece. So you could see the things I sculpted. The front one on the right there got messed up, but I sculpted the spot with the two little circles, and then the outside I sculpted. That's all epoxy where I did the lines and the dots. That's just to match the battle beast. And I also sculpted the base to get them so they laid flush because they weren't sitting right on them. And then that head.
And those are from
I sculpted the fangs.
The horns are from the half giant, the
shield.
Noble Barch set, right?
Oh gosh, yeah,
they're from the shield.
Yep.
Man, just such a unique, you're taking a face shield and some horns from a shield and putting them in and making them pauldrons. Like,
I know.
Yeah, that's awesome.
It came out so good, man. Like they're so dramatic. They're so long, and they're like, to me, I see that as like they're like a real life version of the battle beasts, and you'll probably see him in a minute.
That's awesome. So then I really liked this. So this is showing this tiny little lion thing that you got from who knows where. And then you're basically going to take the head off of that to make it as part of the belt, right?
Yeah, I got that from my son's room. I made sure he had two. If he doesn't have two, I buy him another one.
Gotcha. Okay.
Chop the head right off.
Thought maybe you did like the Indiana Jones where you snuck like the bag of sand in there and All right.
Because it didn't make sense to me for him to have a snake head. I didn't want him to have the snake head,
So on this picture, you can see, if you look at the belt, you can see the little lion head down there that you've now kind of painted as part of that belt buckle. And then now we see like the pauldrons on here and kind of the finished as everything came together.
Yeah. I love him so much. And I used all mythic parts on him because in the show, so Transformers, there's one episode in Headmasters, essentially Saber Sword Tiger is an ancestor to Pirate Lion, or White Leo, the lion. from Battle Beast. So because he was an ancestor, I thought it was an amazing idea to use only mythic armor. And the only thing is cosmic on there is the shoulder pauldron. So I want to do a whole line. Like I want to do, woolly mammoth, as like an ancestor to sledgehammer elephant, woolly rhino, stuff like that. Using only mythic parts and mythic armor, or mostly. But I'm going to get there eventually, but I kind of had to break my rule on that because it got too expensive just using cosmic for everything. I'm like, gosh, I'm from, I think the rhino, I'm like, I don't have a cosmic loincloth or waist armor left. So I had to use mythic,
Gotcha.
So now they're a mix. I use what I have because it's gotten so expensive.
So we need like a Battle Beast cosmic accessory pack is what you're saying.
I wouldn't say no.
All right, getting into this one. This is the beginnings of a bear. And this is another big boy. So I can see you definitely did some sculpt work on the side here. Where did the original head come from?
That might have been a Paul head, Paul's Customs, I think.
Okay.
That's one I got at Legions Con 22, I think, that I had for a while waiting for this bear, So yeah, the mouths, when their mouths are open, I spend a lot of time on the mouth because like I want to get it to look as real as possible. Like the gators.
You succeeded.
Thank you. Yeah, it's pretty good. Yeah, the bear is so cool to me. I love the bear.
For the last one, sorry, mixed up the slides. But here's the body you started putting together. So now, what belt is, or what waist piece is that?
That is from Kragnar.
Oh, okay.
Isn't it? Yeah.
Yes, it just looks unique because of the way you got it painted. I didn't realize that was the same one.
Yep.
Cool.
Yeah, the shark has that too, Curtis. The shark has Kragnar's, I think.
And I love just like the subtle highlights on here. Like this isn't like a solid brown on the torso and the legs. Like you can see like the darker areas, you can see the highlighted areas. It really does make this thing look more realistic. I love it.
That's one of the things originally when I started, people were like, are you going to sculpt the fur? And I'm like, the Battle Beast doesn't have fur. I'm like, I'm not doing fur,
Right.
Like, if the head has fur, that's cool because that helps me with the overall piece looking somewhat realistic. But like the Battle Beast, like none of them, I don't think any of them, some have scales. The iguana, I think, might have scales, but that's why I'm okay with it not having fur, and plus I just love the mythic parts. Like every time I paint one of these a different color, it's so unique and amazing to me. Like the feet and hands were from the Ursa Major Marvel Legends Build-A-Figure. I just wanted to have the bare feet and bare hands. And
I'm surprised those fit on the ogre.
They don't. None of the Marvel Legends feet fit that well, so they all look like.
Well, I mean that they scale in size to it. Yeah. Like I didn't think that figure was that big.
Yeah, he's got some big feet. Paws. So nice. they scaled really well, but they look like slippers when I first put them on, and they're swinging around. So a lot of times I have to build up the feet is one thing I notice I have to do a lot. They'll be kind of shallow where the ball joint goes in. And so I have to build up around the ankle so that it kind of, encompasses the ball joint from the mythic ankle,
Gotcha.
Because they just never fit perfectly when I'm using feet from Hasbro, which I've done that three times, 2 or 3 times.
Nice. So that's 2 more, Jesse. Anything else? Anything you got on these?
That's one of the Battle Beasts that I actually have is that bear.
Yeah, that's a little one. Yeah, Walter has that tattooed on his thigh.
Nice.
Right? The bear. The bear is the bear and the fox. Those are the 2 that I had. Those are probably my first 2 Battle Beasts ever.
Okay.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So then we're just going to start with this one because that's a toe.
Yeah.
So yeah. Now, did you put like a pin in there or anything, or you just kind of sculpted that right in the middle of the foot and it just stayed on? Like tell us about that.
That's a great idea. I wish I used a pin.
Okay.
No, I sculpted it on, but I went over the bottom too. So like some of the epoxy does work really well. It's really strong, but the fact of the matter is I could probably easily pop that toe off if I wanted, you know. But yeah, it's all sculpted with the Aves Fix-It epoxy.
Yeah, see, I've seen people kind of do like what you showed earlier with like the saran wrap, where they'll kind of make sure that it has that fit right, and then kind of let it dry, and then put like a piece of a paper clip into the toe and into the foot, and that way it gives it a little bit more support.
I've done that. I honestly didn't do it here, and I don't know why I didn't, but I should have, you know. But
and then this is kind of starting painting, try to match it in.
Yeah. No matter what I did, I couldn't get the toes to match though, because they're just different materials, and different materials take paint differently.
Right.
So I did my best, but they're always going to be a tiny bit off, like the color. It's very close though. You'll see.
And so this is becoming like this, giant white croc. And yeah, I just love the overall colors and how this is starting to come out. And then this is like the final look, and just killer. I mean, it looks like kind of a similar thing with the pauldrons here, where you used, I'm guessing that's another one of those face shields, but you used fins on it.
I sculpted the fins on it. His mouth was what, if it wasn't for his mouth, I don't feel like he would have been realistic enough. I wouldn't have been happy enough. Like his mouth, like, you want to go pink, warm colors naturally, but I was using references obviously for Gator's mouths, and like I had to keep going lighter and lighter and lighter. And once I saw, I was like, okay, that looks gross. That looks like raw chicken. I knew I had it, because that's what Gator's mouth. That's what their mouths look like,
Gotcha.
And I sculpted the head, obviously the armor on top of his head.
Never heard anybody painting a mouth saying I was going for raw chicken look.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, there you go.
Especially once I did the clear coat on it, but that might have been that head might have been Paul, I think. Maybe
it is, because I have that same head. And now I feel like I have to go back and repaint it to make it look like raw chicken.
Yes. Worked.
And you know what? Like we've got Jose here says what, that toe is seamless. Yeah. When you get the final look here, like that looks like it's part of that foot. So
thank you. I was so proud of that friggin' toe. Because like that's like I sculpt, like I'll fill in the gaps like with the armor and stuff, but like I didn't think I could sculpt the toe. I didn't think I could do it, but I tried it and I was able to do it. And again, once it starts to harden, that's when you could really start to sculpt that stuff.
So now the like the cross section on the torso, that's Kragnar as well, but then you've modified the middle to be able to fit that logo in. How did you go about doing that?
So all I do is because what I do for a lot of these as a base, I choose the color I want for the base and I'll dye it. So I got into that probably with the Battle Beast. I don't think I was doing it much prior to that. I might have done it once or something. I think that was from Detour too. I learned about dyeing. So I dye them the right base color. So I think, what was your question again? Oh, the chest.
The chest. You got the logo inside of there. Did you just boil that out, or?
When I boiled it, you're able to pop out the middles very easily.
Okay, I didn't know that was a part that pops out for Kragnar.
Yeah, I think it is. I'm trying to think of what's there prior to. I've done so many of these now.
Yeah, that's what I was just looking. It looks like
what is there?
Circle. It's got like a big circle piece in the middle. So
is it? I don't have it. I have a pile of them somewhere, but I think if it's the part I'm thinking, I think you could pop it out with when you boil it. Yeah.
And then you just like drill a hole that'll fit that chest plug that you're using on the 1.0 figures.
No, there's the hole is there, so there's no hole that I need to drill.
Oh, it's the same size as the chest plug.
Kind of like if you look at the shark, you can see I cut it all out so the chest plug it's recessed on the shark. Gotcha. But then what I started to do is the chest plug rests perfectly on top of that circle, so that the edge takes just a little super glue on the edge, and it works perfectly.
Beautiful.
Yeah, so I didn't have to drill anything there. I did have to chop his head off though, because his neck he was like a giraffe gator at first. that's why I never wanted to use that head on the Kragnar body, because I had seen someone else do it, and I was like, the neck looks too long.
Yeah.
So then what I did was I just cut it off, and that was another brave moment where I was like, I got to do this, you know?
Yeah. I don't know that. I mean, Kragnars are not cheap. Cutting the neck off a Kragnar and taking it, like, once again, it takes guts to do this stuff.
But the end result is worth it, man.
Oh, for sure. This looks fantastic.
Like, that's how
and I love that you did this photo the way you did outdoors, because he totally blends in with the environment that he's in there. Like,
I live on like wetlands kind of, so it's perfect.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I took this picture and the frogs were going off all over around me, you know.
That's awesome.
Perfect.
They're probably scared to death. I mean, look at this guy.
If they saw him, yeah.
So speaking of frogs,
there it is.
Yeah, this is our next one, and you kind of got your pieces out here. Start working on some other pauldrons, and it looks like you're using the Borga pauldrons again with a modified horn that you're putting in there.
Yes, that horn was from one of the dwarves.
Gotcha. And then I love the paint job you did on this face. Like, this is just stellar.
Awesome. Yeah, he came out cool. And when his ears are little drywall anchors. I sculpted the base. The base is sculpted, but yeah, it worked.
I think that may be there's a lot of Mythic shows on. That may be the first time on any Mythic show that somebody said, "Oh yeah, the ears are drywall anchors." Yeah. So
it works.
Yeah, that is a first. That's awesome.
Thank you.
And then you've got, this is kind of piecing it together. Besides, you're missing the hands and the chest plug at this point. And then this is kind of the final product.
Yep. Yeah, his spear, his little lances, I did a magnet on that. I went back too and I did a magnet on War Weasel, so he's got a magnet. So their weapons, I try to do them with a magnet now. It works. You know, I can take it off and stuff. And then I did his legs backwards just to give him a little bit of it's not identical to a frog's anatomy, but it gave him a different look, and it feels kind of like a frog, you know?
Yeah, it kicks out to the side a little bit. That's cool.
Yeah, yeah. His legs are backwards on the bottom, so his knees bend backwards instead.
Right, and you've got an outdoor shot with this one as well, which is kind of cool.
Yep.
And then another inside shot there. So
yeah,
awesome.
I painted him as water at first, and then I was like, wait, he's a toad though. I was like, I want my toad to be wood, but I've got a lot on the wood faction now. But then I had the idea, if you read the description, he's like the first double agent. So his ancestors are water, because all amphibians are born in the water pretty much, right? So
yeah,
he's water, but he works with wood as a double agent.
Gotcha. Well, Jesse, I think we got two more. Anything before we go on to the last couple?
I think the way you're incorporating like their hand weapons like actually into their wrist pegs is really cool, not just making it like something handheld.
Yeah.
I think that's, a real dedication to the original look and everything, and I think that's really fun.
Thank you. Yeah. It's as true as I could stay to the battle beast, That's
so this next one was one of my absolute favorites as a kid. I would definitely put it in like my probably top 3 battle beast. Didn't know kind of how you would do it. And I see kind of the parts starting to form here. You've got the head, you've got a little drill piece, you've got the legs. I mean, right from this, I can tell, okay, I know what direction he's going. But tell us a little bit about that, because I think, it looks like you got some more heads up towards the top. And so I'm thinking maybe you were kind of experimenting a little bit, and then all of a sudden you found, okay, this is the perfect head. And I got my drill piece, and definitely want to hear about these legs and how that works. So yeah, talk us through this a little bit.
Yeah. So my buddies at Borderland, they kind of surprised me. They were like, check out this head. What do you want to use this for? So that head, if it's not, it's going to be available on their site. So it's called like Stag Party, I think, which is hilarious because he's got the goggles. But yeah, the head is Stag Party. Obviously, I knew it was for the deer battle beast. The drill I had acquired before I even saw that head. I think the drill I got on Planetary Dog Toys.
Mm-hmm.
It was just a perfect size, and it just looked amazing. I love the sculpt work on it. I knew that was going to be for the deer. Up top, those are you're getting a glimpse of some battle beast heads that I'll probably be using. for future battle beasts. So that's a little sneak peek there, I guess. The legs, he is unique.
Well, let's
yeah.
show this next picture, because this next picture you got a little bit further on the legs. So yeah, talk to us about that.
Yeah, the deer is unique. You could see here in the photo, like besides, somebody pointed this out to me, besides the bird, Colonel Bird, the deer is one of the only ones who doesn't have armor on his ankles.
Mm-hmm.
And so I wanted to stay true to that. I didn't want him to have armor down there. So I'm like, where the hell am I going to get deer legs? You know? And
right.
Literally, I think I wasn't customizing. I was like sitting in my living room one day and I was like, Rintra. I was like, I have the Rintra Build-A-Figure. And I was like,
I'm sorry, I don't have a frame of reference. What is that?
Rintra is in this photo. He is the Green Bull, Marvel Legends. They did him as a Build-A-Figure, which you can get that wave at Ollie's now. He's literally, he's in Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness.
Okay, gotcha.
For like 2 seconds. And they made him a Build-A-Figure. So plus he's at Ollie's. So I said, hell yeah, I'm tearing him apart. So popped off the bottom legs and I sliced the legs in half on the cosmic legs, and I just drilled a hole, and they fit like a pop fit. They just fit so perfectly. I was so happy.
Okay, now you went through that really quick because you said you used his legs. You sliced the cosmic ones in half.
Yeah, you could see the pieces there.
Okay, so which parts on the leg here, is it like the lower part is from that figure and the upper part is from that figure, but then the middle is from cosmic? Is that what we're saying?
So go back to the previous photo real quick. With the green. You can see the green.
Okay.
See the green legs. You see the peg on them.
Okay.
So those green legs, that's all that I used from that Marvel bull. And
so
then
that is on the bottom part of this next picture.
Yeah, and so if you see these legs here on Sligor, just picture, I had to cut out an angle so that they worked, but just picture slicing his shin in half. I did that, and then I drilled a hole in it, and and then I plugged in the legs to that.
Gotcha. Yeah,
and the upper thighs are just the bare Legion's legs.
The upper thighs are armor, so those are still
they are armored. Okay.
Cosmic.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
They look, for the size of the image on my screen, it looks smooth.
Yeah, same. And it looked a little bit smaller as well. I thought that was okay. So that's cool. So then, this is obviously the finished product altogether. And this is just stunning, because anybody that had this figure as a kid, that knew this figure, loved this figure, like, this is it. Like, this is if you just take that figure, blow it up, this is it. And talk to us a little bit about that, like on the pauldron there, what you got going on.
So that is it's Sligor. I think he came with like some kind of electrical staff.
Mm-hmm.
I used that. I had to sculpt that center where the circle is. And then I just did kind of, I forget what it was, something round. The end of my X-Acto blade was fit perfectly, so it made it kind of round in the center. And then the back is, I don't know what it is. It comes with Sligor. It looks like a barrel kind of, but I drilled a hole and I popped that into the back of it's the end of his electrical staff. And it just came together and looked like a cannon. So we're with the orange though. I always feel like it looks like a Nerf cannon or something, but it's true to the battle beast,
And I just love the way that this figure stands. I love the posture of it. Those greens, like the two-tone green there, really pops. This thing's just amazing.
He stands on his own too. He stands great. And I have since gone over him. He's not ruined, don't worry. I just did a little bit lighter yellow.
Gotcha.
So it's a yellower green for his armor, just to match the battle beast a little bit more. I loved his green. It's very subtle what I did. It's probably closer to like how you see his mask,
Jose is asking, what glue did you use to adhere the parts together?
So his shoulder cannon, I used the epoxy.
Okay.
So there was no glue there. There was no glue anywhere on this guy, actually. Okay. Yeah, and then the guns on his waist, I did epoxy on those as well. Those were like, they plug in on you can see where the blade is plugged in on his forearm.
Yeah, I actually didn't even see the guns on the waist there. That's awesome.
Yeah, because the Battle Beast has that,
Yeah.
So I had to cut the little peg off the bottom because I wanted them to go upright like the Battle Beast.
And then the drill you've got with a magnet again.
No, the drill fits perfectly.
Oh, gotcha. Because that's the one that, it's made to fit. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, it went on that arm pretty well.
Yeah, that's cool.
I think I did use epoxy though, because it's a loose fit. It's not meant to pop on there. But something happened inside. I don't know what happened, where it broke free, but it spins now, but it won't come off. So I'm okay with it. Okay.
Gotcha.
It spins, but it's on there.
So, and the legs, you said you just put a hole in where you cut the shin off, so that it's just like a normal socket fit with
popped right in.
Glue or adhesive.
No glue, so it articulates and stuff. It felt
very cool.
It fit perfectly. Yeah.
All right, so we're down to the last one that you sent us for these pictures, and I'm guessing this is going to be a rhino, but you've got a few different heads here. So talk to us about kind of what was going into this.
Yeah, so I worked with CB Make did this head for me, and he, he's an amazing guy, amazing artist.
Yep.
I got one head from him, and he sent me 3 different ones. I was like, okay, so I was able to pick the one I liked the best and use that. So,
gotcha. So now we see you working on what's going to become the attachment for the end of his arm.
Yeah,
this is another one of those ones that kind of has the weapon at the end of their arm.
Came out really, like, it just worked. This one was fun too.
And then here we see it actually in there and attached, which is just looks awesome.
And I knew what that cosmic mace, I knew for months what that was going to be. Maybe a year. I knew what that was going to be.
If we don't get like somebody that has like a mace at the end of their arm now, I'm going to be disappointed, because that's just awesome. Like, that's cool. And then this is the final look on this figure out in the wild. So talk to us about how this one all came together and your thoughts on this one.
I was excited to use these pauldrons too, because Rocky Rhino, he does have spiked pauldrons. So I clipped off all the fur, because these pauldrons, they have the sculpted fur. I got rid of that, and then you could see over on the left arm where the mace is, I added the pointy spike. That I cut from, I think it was a cosmic shield. It was just, I needed plastic, and I heated it. I used an X-Acto, but it was from a Sligor or the cosmic weapons pack. It's translucent. Okay. It's a translucent shield. I cut that. And then he's the second one since the Sabertooth where I did a little animal head on the belt, because I didn't have another cosmic waist piece. I said, you know what? I'm doing the rhino head. So I went in my son's room, and sure enough, he had 2 little rhinos. I was like, yes. Because he doesn't have 2 of all of them,
And then I just love the way this one looks, like the lighting, and obviously surrounded by, several of the other ones.
Yeah.
Just an imposing presence. This just looks cool.
Yeah.
And then I just wanted to finalize it with, I know we showed this picture earlier, but just to hit it one more time, just amazing how these look together. Obviously there's a couple that you've got now that could be in with these, but just creates this amazing looking shelf. So
thank you, Jeff. That's awesome.
Yeah, this is cool. Jesse, last shot. So what do you think?
I just want all of these. Like, I just want them all.
And that's the rub, because Chris isn't selling these, and you
don't need to have.
Sorry.
Well, I mean, I want his, but like I want these as real. Like, I want a
this would be a cool line.
Oh yeah,
6-inch scale line, like you have the varying sizes, not all the same. I know the original ones were all the same size, but
that was one thing. Oh,
incredible! It's just incredible. Like I have my African team that's got like the elephant and a rhino and a hippo and stuff, but like, I tried to be semi realistic with them, but except for the elephant, I did green. But these are just amazing.
Yeah, they're not realistic, but they are. Tributes to the Battle Beast, and the colors are so iconic.
Joe wants to know when the Kickstarter for these is.
Oh man, I don't know how that would work. I don't know. I've gotten a lot of questions for commissions, and I want to do them, but it's such a passion project for me that I'm being selfish, because I love them so much, and I
totally get it.
I have to finish, I have to finish the ones that are my favorites. and then I would consider it. And I don't know what you guys think. I thought maybe if I could make them, there's different ways I could do it, but I'm like, if I could say, okay, this is what I want for this figure, instead of doing a commission, I could do a raffle. People could spend $10, and then it's like, you could get this for $10, and I maybe say, for whatever slots, and that X amount equals what I would want to charge for that. Because commissions, I mean, there's so many people that want them. It just seems, I mean, I don't know how to be fair about it,
Here's what I would say. First of all, I love the way you're doing it. You're doing it for you, and that's cool. I mean, as somebody that would love to have one of these in my collection, I just appreciate that somebody out here is doing this, and I'm able to see it because I'm enjoying it. And I think people that really love Battle Beast are enjoying just seeing this. So that is great.
I will make you one eventually, Curtis. I promise.
Well, if you did decide to make them to sell, what I would probably do if I was you is just, figure out where the interest is, where, I mean, look, you got these things posted on Instagram, which one's got the most attention. And then if you, kind of did a second version of it, put whatever price that you think justifies the time, the parts, the energy, everything into it. And then I would just put it out there for that price. I think Anthony Halseal calls it the FU price at Legion's Con, which is like I don't really want to sell this, but if you basically say FU, I'm going to pay you this amount, I got to take it. So that would be my advice. Jesse, I don't know. What are your thoughts on it?
I have a hard time telling people how to price their stuff. I mean, obviously you got to look at, the cost of the parts themselves, and then, extrapolate, how much time, effort, your skill, like these are pieces of art. Like, they are toys, but you put a lot of effort into them. You're putting a lot of thought into designing these. Like, these should not be cheap. And then I know, like, there's no such thing as a cheap custom, really.
Yeah, right.
But
exactly.
Yeah, I would say I wouldn't even. I love the passion that you're putting this, trying to get your favorites. I would not do anything that's going to distract from that at this point. So, if it's going to slow you down from doing the ones that you have in your mind that you want to do, I would just do what you want to do. That's the best plan in my opinion.
I don't see myself making another elephant, but I'm willing to walk anybody through that wants to try it, how I did it. I'll tell them everything I did. But they're priceless.
That's a huge offering in it. That's the whole, teach a man to fish versus giving him a fish thing,
Yep.
Yeah, and that's what's so great about this community. I know, Jesse and I were in the customizing studio today. Cheap plug. We do that every Sunday, and you get a lot of folks in there. We had Jeremy Gerard popped in today, which was awesome to see him in there. I know he's usually busy on Sundays. But we've got several amazing customizers in there. Emil's in there almost every week. Joe Vasapolo drops in from time to time, and there's just such a sharing of information and what kind of paints people use and what kind of tools they use, and how did Emil's working on a tribute and he cut this part off and turned it into this, and kind of similar to the things that you're sharing tonight. And it's just such an amazing community where it's like, people aren't just keeping these secrets to themselves because they don't want somebody else to have it. So yeah, that's a generous offer, and really appreciate you, sending those, in progress pics to us to share tonight and kind of talking through your process. Cause it's been super eye opening for myself and hopefully for others as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I definitely want to, I want to bring him to Legion's Con. David Williams was amazingly generous to offer space, like he said, you can display him here, and I've talked to him about it. And at this point, I'm like, you said that when I had made a couple, and I'm like, I don't feel right anymore bringing all these to put at your table. So, we'll talk about it or whatever in the future and see what happens prior to Legion's Con, but I'm definitely going to be there, and I definitely plan on bringing these with me. So I'm going to travel.
Do you live nearby?
I'm in Connecticut, so I'm not too far.
It's not too bad.
Yeah, not too far.
Yeah, that's one of the things with bringing stuff. I know when we were in the studio today, and Emil was kind of talking about how like his first first Legion's Con or two, he really wasn't selling any of his figures. And because he was doing kind of like what you're saying, he was doing them for himself, and he was so attached to them, he couldn't see himself selling them. But then, when you're transporting these things and going to shows, they do take a little bit of wear and tear as you're transporting them. And it's like, how many times can you touch them up and stuff and transport them back and forth without having issues? And so, eventually he got to the conclusion that, because of space, because of, not wanting these things to get destroyed over time, and because there's certain people that just loved them so much that he wanted to share that, he started selling some of his figures. So just one thing to keep in mind, if you are traveling by car, van, whatever, it's a lot easier to keep them in good shape than if you're, either mailing them or having somebody at the airport kind of throw your bags around and stuff. But just something to keep in mind with that too, for yourself and anybody else that's bringing figures to Legion's Con for the first time, is just make sure you take that extra precaution and time with that, because inevitably, I'll tell you, no matter how well you pack everything, something's going to get chipped, broken, something. So you got to be prepared for it, because that's, as a customizer that put a lot of work into these things, it takes its toll when you pull something out and you're like, that's one of my favorite pieces. And
I know.
Oh man,
they're gonna have seatbelts on.
What were you saying, Jesse?
When I boxed my stuff up, Miss Con, you just had a heart attack when you watched me boxing up my customs.
Yeah.
I just kind of like scooped him into a t-shirt and dropped him in a box, and he was like, "What are you doing?"
No.
Yeah, for me, that's just like a very anxiety-driven moment, is like transporting it. And that's what, for me, it ends up taking about, somewhere neighborhood of like 18 to 21 hours to get to and from New Jersey, like each way.
Oh, wow.
But I drive because, like, I don't like flying. That's one thing. But even if I did, I wouldn't take the stuff that I'm going to my table with. I wouldn't put it on a plane, and I wouldn't mail it. I wouldn't feel comfortable with that. So,
agreed.
But that's just me. But it's just something you got to be prepared for, because inevitably you're going to have something happen.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
But awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's everything we had to show. Did you say you had something else that you wanted to kind of tease tonight?
I do, but I don't know how you're going to feel about it, Curtis.
Hey, I'll feel whatever you want me to feel.
I want you to like it, but this guy was in the works for a while.
Yeah.
Mark Rivera. I think Mark. CB did the Rhino. Mark did this. So this is
my table mates.
Open mouth.
Oh, okay. All right. I see where you're going.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of got him.
And this is the one that this is the character that I had Emil make for me. So
yeah.
Oh yeah.
So I lengthened his arms by like cutting them. I feel like in my camera the lighting isn't great. I don't know.
It looks dark, but I can get the overall profile of it.
Yeah.
Okay. So how did you lengthen his arms?
His arms, basically inside these pauldrons, I had to cut off the tip of his wrists so that the hands could still peg in.
Mm-hmm.
And then basically I did epoxy, and I did some hot glue, which I've never used before, but it was just a filler,
right?
So that his forearms are longer, basically.
Gotcha.
So yeah, his cool. And then I bent his knees. The feet were from like Sasquatch, but you'll see better lighted photos soon. I'm almost done with him, and I'm using hair on him. This is the first time I'm using the fur. It's going to go kind of like a collar here and down here, but I'm going to dye the front so he's got black on the front, and I'm going to leave it like the grayish silver on the back. So he's kind of going to be like silverback, but the
super cool.
The helmet
Mark right there.
Yes, yeah. Mark did an amazing job on these. He gave me the open mouth and this one. But yeah, and this was, like the helmets that have the bubble on them, like what's the white one, the Tusk engineer?
The science officer is the one.
Yeah, the science officer. I use those because I had extras. You cut it, and it's I cut it round so it just fits perfectly on the back of his head, and it looks like the Battle Beast, obviously, because he's got that on his head.
Got that Lobot sensor thing built in there.
Yes,
Star Wars,
like Lobot. Yeah, I wish
Yeah.
I wish you
So
better,
this is
better lighting.
this is the one that I was talking about that Emil did for me.
Oh yeah,
So,
I love
but
this.
it's 1.0 size.
Yeah.
I love that you're like, you're not keeping everything to one scale. You've got ogres, you got 1.0, you got trolls. Like, yeah, you got varying sizes, which is just really cool. So
Yeah, they're some of my favorites. So the guys I know are going to be ogre scale. Those are like the gorilla. I had to do him ogre scale.
I mean, his name is Gargantuan Gorilla.
I know.
Like, you got go big or go home, right?
Yeah, I can't wait. I mean, this is the first time I've seen him too. As I just put him together before the show, kind of. So he's not done. But
I love the elements though. The elements that you put into it with the lengthening the arm and the head,
helped.
It's super cool.
They're not as long as I wanted them to be, but they don't look the same anymore. They're longer,
right?
And bending the knees helps. So,
yeah, that's
amazing.
That's really cool.
That's really cool.
Thank you guys. Thank
you. Can't
much.
wait to see the photos that you do on that one. That'll be awesome.
Yes, not to take away from Emil. Emil's is phenomenal. You know, Emil's on another level. His paint work is outstanding. But go big or go home. I needed a big gorilla.
Hey, that works, man.
Yeah,
and I would say once you get pictures of that one out there, there's I would say a halfway decent chance that'll be a shelf selection.
Yes.
I don't know. What do you think, Jesse?
Yeah,
I think it's more of a 100% chance that'll be like.
Considering that I would say nearly all of the ones, if it just wasn't, I mean, there was a couple that I think based on timing, it came out as I already had my shelf selections done for the week.
Oh, the shark! I was sad. I wish the shark had been on.
But there was, pretty much anyone that was out there at the right timing has been a shelf selection for me because I just absolutely love these. Go ahead, Jesse.
Just so you know, Chris, I also love them and would have picked some, but I know Curtis would have been like, nope, I'm using that one, pick something else. So I haven't even bothered sending them to Curtis.
Well,
there are times where Jesse and I pick the same photo. And if it's one that I was like, but I'm not like in love with, I'll just give it to Jesse. And I'll say, okay, that's his. And I'll just pick a new photo. But if he picks one that I'm in love with, I'm like, no, you need to pick something else.
Yeah.
I'm going to completely, smash Curtis's online personality, representation. He almost has never asked me to switch something. I think once has he asked me he's like, I really want to use that one. Can you pick something else?
Yeah.
Or he'll just be like, oh, cool, I've got an extra one anyway. So
right. Yeah, because then it's a way for me to get two of my picks in, or whatever.
Yeah.
So
but
I absolutely love what you're doing. I appreciate you coming on and not only
much
sharing the finished product with us, but like your thought process and how you've worked through it and the tools that you've used. It was very insightful and I just really appreciate it. That's awesome. So, somebody had asked earlier and I wanted to get from you, there was a question here. What are your favorite battle beasts? So that got me thinking, like, as far as like what's on your radar for like the next ones, like what are some that like you just know you've got to do within the next, however many weeks, months, whatever.
Icky iguana, frilled lizard. There's this one. I got a great head for him. Did I get it from Mark? I might have gotten it from Mark Rivera. Beaver. So he's one that's like, I have to do him because he's like sentimentally just amazing to me. He's one that I remember having a sandwich bag in preschool. This was prior to kindergarten. It was full of battle beasts, and this little kid took my entire bag of battle beasts. And he was the otter when I was a kid. And I was chasing him around. It was cubicles in like this. It was a school. And I chased him around literally crying. Like, this kid has my battle beast. And the teacher finally got him back for me. But I remember him being in that bag. And I just love that my daughter called him the hamster the other day.
Nice.
Yeah. I mean, I want to do him badly. He's going to be hard though. The porcupine. I just bought at it's like a secondhand, like, kind of store, antique store. There was an Alex and Ani bracelet that's loaded with metal spikes. And I recently went looking for metal spikes online. They're not easy to find. So I bought that bracelet because I'm like, I'm going to use that for the porcupine at some point because he's amazing, but he's going to be very hard to do. You know, he's loaded in spikes, and also I like doing them realistic, but sometimes when you do them realistic, it takes away from that charm, you know, that the Battle Beast has. So, you know, realistic porcupine doesn't have 12 perfect spikes right here,
right?
You know, like he does. So it's kind of hard to decide the way to do it, you know. But yeah, I mean, I've done a lot of my favorites. War Weasel is one of my favorites. The Shark is favorite. Black Panther is a favorite. Bighorn Sheep, who we saw, you know, his custom. I've done a good amount of my favorites. But here's one that's on my radar, and I can't remember if it was CB or Mark. One of them. They just gave me the moose head, and I appreciate them. So I'm doing the moose soon because he's going to be incredible. But I'm struggling with the antlers because the alder moose antlers are so big. I don't like how they look on the older body. But then the other antlers, which come with, you know, the
Nate Bart set.
Yeah, with the shield and stuff that I use
Yep.
Those actually they're too small, but they actually look better than the alder ones because like proportion wise, those antlers are very much like about the same as the Battle Beast. They just look too small because we're used to that alder moose with those, the massive rack. But, you know, I grew up, Maine was a home away from home for me. So I got to do the moose.
I agree with Jeff here. We'd love to have you in the customizing studio sometime. If you're ever available on a Sunday afternoon, I'd love to have you.
Absolutely. So, absolutely. I had a lot of fun tonight.
There's two that I got to ask you about that I haven't seen you do yet, haven't heard you talk about. One I know we've already seen from another customizer has done. The other one I've not seen anybody do. Maybe it's been done and I just missed it. But the two that were like really favorites of mine, Blitzkrieg Bat and Night Owl. So I want to know.
Both of them. I've seen both of them done.
Okay. So when are we going to get the War Weasel 83 version of Blitzkrieg Bat and Night Owl?
Sean Shaw did the bat. He did the hippo. He definitely had the title for the most Battle Beast customs. I think I've surpassed him now because Gargantuan Gorilla is going to be number 13 for me, which is funny because Gargantuan Gorilla is number 13 in the line.
Right.
But I think that I've surpassed him now. I don't think he did quite 13 because I saved all of his photos and stuff. But he did an amazing job with that bat. You know?
He did.
Honestly, like when I see other people do them, like I really wanted to do Night Owl, but another guy did it and he used cosmic parts. Catching Man, something. He did a great job. And when I see that, it honestly makes me put him a little bit on the back burner. If it's not one that's like, I got to do, like if someone else did the Shark before me, that wouldn't have stopped me. He's like possibly my number one favorite. So it depends what it is. CB just put these up so you can get these on eBay or his site. So I've got the armadillo. Yeah, he did a great job on this. I got to get a set of those. He doesn't have his tusks on, but that's going on a what's his name? Slog Body. That's going on a Slog Body. Yeah, that was Mark Rivera, I think. Yeah, this one, I know you saw this one in the background. I'm envisioning this for Roman Buffalo. He's up there for being next. He was another favorite. He's one that I had as a
he's
kid.
Cool.
He's like got the you know who he is. Yeah. It's kind of like pine green armor, and he's got the yellow claw hand. But this head, I just always envisioned for him. I don't know why. It just looks cool. He's right here, Jesse, so you know who we're talking about.
Yeah.
Nice.
I love that claw hand and
so
yeah.
When I was a kid,
I love the ones he had isn't he one of the ones that had a vehicle that really looked like he fit into it? Because there's like a few vehicles that kind of match. There's that one for the one that you did. That's the one like for the that you did with the drill, and then there's that one there. I always put him in that vehicle.
Oh yeah, and you know what's funny is that he rides on my display. He rides on the back of this vehicle.
Nice.
Yeah. That's funny. And then Ferocious Tiger. But yeah, he's
Do you have the big ones like that open up like the play sets?
So I've always wanted those, but I tried to stay strong because I wanted them in the box, but they have become impossible to find. And I just got the Shocking Shark Transport, which is they're basically like transports in case Jesse doesn't know, they're like vehicles, but they open up into play sets. I envision them as huge. They're really not. They're a little bit bigger than those chariots.
Yeah.
But I just got the shark one from a guy on eBay. I got a decent price like 2 days ago. So I'm going to have my first, I just waited for so long because I want them in box, and I decided it's like impossible.
I want that, the red one, the bird.
Yeah. Blazing Eagle.
Yes. Yeah. That thing's cool.
That's the fireplace set, and the wood is called the Wood Beetle.
Yeah, that's awesome.
All of them are cool.
I actually,
beaver,
somewhere in the last year or two, I remember I was talking to, I thought it was Curtis, but it might not have been, but I was talking to someone about those sets because I remembered those. I never had them. And they were like, what? The big ones that opened up? Like they were like, how did I miss those? I can't remember who it was though.
I think it was me because we were doing one of those OffWorld episodes of, I think it was one of the playset episodes.
That's right.
Yeah, and I didn't realize that they made those. I had the vehicles that he's got behind him. In fact, I still got them. I got them in the garage, but I never had the big ones. The
that was me. That was the same with me, and I always wanted them.
I didn't even know they existed until like this past year.
Yeah. So, oh yeah, they were just hard to get. Yeah,
super cool.
Awesome.
Beautiful. Well, we're this is a pretty lengthy episode. Normally we're about 2 hours, but we're closing in on 3 here.
Right.
Appreciate everything that you showed us. Is there anything that you're looking forward to promote? Is there any shows that you're going to? Anything that people can look forward to, either on your Instagram or anywhere else?
I know I'll be at Legion's Con. I'll be bringing these. Definitely want to give a shout out to my buddies, my brothers at Borderland, because they're going to have their website up and running soon. And again, you're going to be able to see some of these, like the skunk head. You'll be able to get a few of these heads there, at least not all of them, but the ones that we worked on with Headhunter. Headhunter did a few heads.
Okay.
So that. Other than that, no. I'm going to go to Shop the Curiosity. I think that might be this month.
That's probably not an exaggeration.
Yeah.
Just FYI. Yeah, that's cool. Also hope to see, your stuff at David Williams' table, at Legion's Con, Instagram at WarWeasel83. Chris also posts, under his name in the Cabal. So be on the lookout for those posts as well. And, man, this was awesome. This was just like feel good nostalgia, customizing goodness. So yeah, I'm good.
Drink out of this every morning.
There you go. Hey, before we let you go, show everybody your the lunchbox you were showing us before.
Oh, the lunchbox is great. I gotta get the thermos still, but
love that
lunchbox.
Fantastic,
man. Yeah, I mean, back as an 80s, 90s kid, you had to have these things, man. Those lunchboxes were the best.
It really is.
Yeah,
absolutely. It's so perfect for Battle Beast,
Yeah. Well, shoot us that whenever you get time, over the next few days or whatever. Shoot us those links that you were talking about for display options. We'll definitely make sure to attach it to the video for anybody that's watching. We're going to go ahead and put you backstage and close out the show. If you've got to run, that's fine. If not, hang out backstage and we'll be with you right as soon as we close everything out.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, everybody, for watching, whoever watched and tuned in. I know some of my family was watching. I appreciate you guys. And thank you, Jesse and Curtis. I had an amazing time. I will do this anytime.
Beautiful.
Excellent. Oh, it's great having you. And can't wait to see you again in person and see what else you come up with.
Thank you for that weasel head, Jesse.
You're welcome.
There you go.
He created more weasel. He created a monster.
All right. We'll see you, man.
Guys. Bye.
Yep. Oh, wrong one.
I mean, I waved, but like
I clicked Jesse off and I just kicked Jesse off the show. This is now my show. I'm taking over. No. Sorry, Jesse.
That's okay.
All right. That was fun, man. That was super fun.
Yes, it was. Very cool. So much awesome stuff, and getting to see the process and everything was absolutely amazing. Thank you for putting all those slides together.
Absolutely. It was a lot. It was a lot, but it was worth it because I got to see a lot of goodness. Couple things to shout out real quick. We are continuing to do the Wednesday one shots. So check that out. We've got one this past week that we did on Baldur's Gate. Is that this last one? Yeah, I think that's the last one we did.
Yep.
So we've got, those coming out every Wednesday. We also have a new segment that's getting ready to come out that is simply going to be called Rats. And if you want to know what rats means, you'll have to wait and see. You'll be able to figure out what rats is, but look out for Shooting the Shelf giving you rats. Also, the channel is 20 people away from 750, which is our next giveaway, next big giveaway. So if you enjoyed this episode, if you know others that would enjoy this episode, please click that subscribe button so that we can get to 750 and do some awesome, cool giveaway stuff. So we would really appreciate that. Jesse?
Definitely would. And then, it's only 250 more to 1,000, and who knows what's going to happen then.
That's got to be big stuff, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's like Jesse shaving his head or something.
Nope. So. Do not make promises I have no intention of keeping.
Well, also next week we got something a little special, don't we, for these folks?
Yes. Curtis is bailing on us in our normal evening slot because he has to go to work like
Touché.
Some lame professional adult. No, but seriously, Curtis does have some work stuff, very kind of once in a decade kind of situation that he's got to go deal with some stuff. So we're doing our show early, which gave us the opportunity to bring on a few of our favorite people from the other side of the world that don't normally get to be with us on this show. So we're bringing the country of Sweden on next weekend.
Wow, the entire country, huh?
Both of the people from Sweden. Thomas and Emil will be with us. Talking customs, talking collecting, talking Legions Con, talking, I don't know, motorcycles and whatever, we'll just have to tune in to find out. But yes, next week at 1:00 Eastern time, right here on Just Shelve It, Shooting the Shelf. No evening show like normal. So this will be replacing it next week.
Yeah, and for those out there that enjoy the customizing studio, we're talking about maybe doing an early customizing studio next week, since we will be going live the same time as the studio normally goes on. If anybody wants to continue and be in the studio while we're on, that doesn't hurt our feelings. That's fine. We understand. But yeah, as my wife would say, hashtag the Swedes. So there you go.
Yes. And Trevor, the reason we didn't talk about the graph thing is because I think everybody put out a lot of great options. Curtis has made some comments on the shows talking about it, and we just didn't really have anything new to. I have no clue. Like, I'm just excited for whatever it's going to be, and disappointed that I'm not going to have any money this week. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah,
maybe it just gets announced this week, and it won't go on sale till later. But it did say shipping in April, so who knows what it'll be.
And I did see, I think it was Steve-O saying something about he was going to pass it on to the horsemen as if we were bashing them or anything. We're not bashing them. We just have.
There was no we. There was no we.
And I'm not bashing them. We just have nothing else to. I mean, we're going to find out tomorrow. Oh, here we go. Steve-O says, telling a 4-H you spoke blasphemy. No. Listen, they do an amazing job. Jeremy is a director of sales and marketing for a reason. He definitely knows how to use that little laser pointer to get all the cats running around and all excited, and does an amazing job of it. And tomorrow we're going to find out. I'm sure it's going to be something amazing. I'm sure we're all going to be surprised, and we're going to have our wallets out, and we're going to be ready to spend it, because, I mean, when has Four Horsemen ever shown us something that we were like, meh? Yeah, I mean, it doesn't happen that often. So I'm sure it's going to be great. But yeah, the speculation, not my thing. I had way too many shows to do this weekend rather than to speculate. So
I mean, I like speculating to an extent, but like when there is literally nothing for me to base it on other than it's something mythic and something mythos. Like, Trevor, you guys did it on the lounge really good. The Euro guys talked about it. Legions Cast talked about it. I feel like other people have talked about it. Like, I didn't have anything new to add to the conversation other than I'm excited to see what it is.
I I used to work with a guy that he was clear. He had notepads, like multiple notebooks, where he was tracking every Powerball number that had come out, and he was looking for patterns in Powerball numbers.
All right, you're giving me a headache.
He felt like he had narrowed it down to, several hundred options that would make him guarantee him to win the Powerball. That is what this past week has felt like with all the guesses on the mythic mysteries, whatever. All these people that are reading into certain things and looking at all this stuff and deciphering. Basically, Four Horsemen said pick a number between 1 and 5 billion, and you're trying to logic your way into the answer. You're not going to guess it. You may get close, you may get partially towards it, but you're not going to guess it. So just wait. It'll be good. And yes, it's called fun. Tomorrow will be fun. It'll be great. It'll be amazing. It'll be lots of fun. But just that's not what the show is about, because this show is about people. It's about learning who people are, exploring their journey with them. We had a great one last week with Mira exploring her journey, and a great one this week with Chris. And you know what? I had a lot of fun, and hopefully you folks did too. So.
Yes. And it is fun. Like I said, none of my guesses are exciting as anything anybody else has said. So I like everybody else's picks better than anything I could have come up with. So go listen to all those shows from this past week.
That he said it was graphics for the new video game. I hope that's not true, because they not great. But other than that, the rest of the guesses, super fun. So.
Yes, it was fun listening to all the different things, even if they weren't necessarily things I wanted. But it was cool listening. So go check out all those shows. And, I don't know, I didn't get to watch all of Latin Legions tonight, but I know they had a show this evening. Hedgehog, Saturday Day Live. Someone got it right.
Well, there you go.
All right. That's new.
Somebody hit the Powerball. I doubt they logicked their way into it, but they hit it. So. There you go. We'll find out tomorrow.
Suppressing your violence and refocusing.
And you know what? That person that did guess it right will win a great big nothing. So, but congratulations.
We don't know. Maybe they'll get an all-in on whatever it is.
Sure they will. Anywho, see you next week with the Swedes at a special time. And until then,
what's on your shelf? No!
This is me in chair 4. Shooting. I told you we should have done it. The shelf sent me. Yo.